Greetings and welcome to Office Hours with Dr. G. I'm your host, Dr. G, and I am so glad you could keep our appointment. Now tonight, I'm very excited about this particular presentation because I'm going to be able to kind of sit back and learn along with you. I'm talking about tonight's presentation with 7HealStar Astrology Firm and Mother Malika of lawfulliving.com. 7HealStar Astrology Firm is the only sincere, true, and faithful Moorish American internationally certified professional astrology firm in the world. Ever mindful to keep Prophet Noble Drew Ali at the forefront, brothers Hasan Ghaziel Bey, Terrell Tamari Bey, Corey Bey, Sean Alim L, and Arah Muaba Bey share astrology, civics, and the comprehension thereto to their daily via their own free national press. By doing so, these brotherly AstroCivicians keep themselves shoveled from under the avalanche of lies heaped upon Moors annually. Mother Malika, along with her daughter Sunni and many others like Brother Keith L. Hotep and baby Bobby Christ, is assisting in uplifting fallen humanity by providing a jurisprudence gym, 3 p.m. Eastern every Tuesday and Thursday to exercise sincere and unapologetic Sioux warrior concept correction live on Zoom through Friends-in-Law Bible Studies classes via lawfulliving.com and the Lawful Living app, which can be downloaded via Apple's App Store and the Google Play Store. So sit back, don't really relax. Be prepared to take notes as together they present true and faithful astrology and civics. Could the solution to your problem be written in the stars? I want you to help me welcome to Office Hours with Dr. G, the members of 7HealStar.com and Mother Malika from Lawful Living. Welcome, y'all. Hello. How you doing? Well, first of all, for those of you who may not know, I'm turning this over to Brother Hasan Ghaziel Bey, and he's going to kind of be the moderator for this, and I'm going to kind of like sit back. But for those of you who don't know, he is the producer of my theme song, which most of y'all kind of love. Some of y'all hang around at the very end so you can hear the music play out. Well, he is the producer. We worked together. I dreamed it up and he made it happen. So welcome, Brother Hasan, Brother Sean, Brother Arah, Brother Corey, Brother Terrell. Let me get you here on there. And Mother Malika. Welcome to Office Hours.
Namaste, namaste, namaste. Islam, Islam, Islam. We are 7HealStar, and that's Mother Malika for Lawful Living, the jurisprudence gym. Yeah, indeed, guys. This is going to be great. Like, I know we got a couple of hours with you. How we like to start off. I know you know, guys are huge on. Yes. We can hear you, bro.
Hello. Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you, Brother Terrell. Yes,
we got you. We're live.
Yeah, and we're live, bro. So, okay, cool. So, guys, just on a serious note, you know that we're huge on astrology and civics. And you know, for I guess you could say collectively, honestly, for about 8 years since declaring and proclaiming our nationality. You know, me and my bros. What we do is just take that what was sincerely shared with us. First time I ever stepped foot in House of Real Awakened Minds was the 3rd February 2017. Met Dr. Naila, met Brother Taj, and many other active Moors that I met on that day. And since then, I made sure to just keep taking seriously that which has been shared and what Brother Taj shares every 1st and 3rd Thursday of every moon cycle. However, in my travels, and I like to call it boomeranging, I was able to come across some very sincere brothers in order, Brother Terrell, then Brother Corey, then Brother Sean. But Brother Arah, I kind of knew the whole time. He was just the final one to like come along and be a part of 7HealStar Astrology Firm. And our whole purpose is to make sure that we're still freely sharing the information with the people. However, when it comes to products and or service, we'll make sure that we're well compensated when it comes to that, for you guys that know that we're here being industrious Moors. However, we enjoy sharing the information to you guys freely. We have 7HealStar.com, where you can do a lot of things for astrology freely, website that we provide. And in boomeranging ourselves and our travels out there, the beloved Mother Oracle, I know she doesn't want her appellation out there, but she knows who she is when she sees this. And Sister Naj, you know who you are also. I wanted to be thankful for them, because back in March, they were telling me about lawfulliving.com, and that's how I came across Mother Malika. And she's going to definitely go in, because I want Mother Malika to go in first, her and Brother Arah, on the civics, because I know a lot of people want to know things about mortgage, rent, their land conveyance, and the driver's license issues, and how to get your children back from CPS taking your children from you. So I want Mother Malika and Brother Arah and myself will go in on that. And then we'll get into the astrology for the second portion. However, since coming to Mother Malika's platform, we call it the Jurisprudence Gem, because you guys that are a part of, and this is no plug, but you've learned about Moorish Heritage and History School, right? Which we are a student and staff of. However, what we're doing is doing what we need to do. No matter where we go, we're Moors going in and coming out. However, what I've recognized in the spirit of Mother Malika, and she can correct me if I'm wrong, what I recognize is the same spirit that Brother Taj brings, that we bring when it comes to assisting the people and saving themselves from just stupidity practices that are out here. Whether it's somebody trying to run you off the road for a citation, some people trying to take your children away from you, or people trying to take your home away from you, where you rest your head. So what I realized is there is a sincerity that's there every Tuesday and Thursday when we go to Lawful Living and we get our jurisprudence exercise on. And that's why I wanted everybody who's here today so you guys can get to know them. I've been speaking to you guys for over 8 years, from Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. And, we are there every Sunday, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays on our 7HealStar YouTube. You guys are also familiar with the puppet show that I put together, Astrology Street with Brother Hasan, for your little ones and you to, learn astrology together. So it's a lot of things that we've put out there pro bono, as some people would say, just so you guys could have it. But I'm not being too verbose, that's why I'm speaking quickly, because I would love, and I'm looking forward to the presentation, because it's not even a real formal presentation. Actually, it's just that we're going to do what we do every Thursday and Friday on this civics portion. And then when it comes to, and really on Fridays and Sundays, I and Brother Arah and whichever the other bros show up on that one too, because that's how we do this on like impromptu style. However, you guys know on Mondays and Wednesdays when we really go in on the astrology, and we do share freely. Prophet Noble Drali University, which is a Google Drive that you guys can get a hold of freely. You go to our Instagram at 7HealStar on Instagram, or Astrology Street on Instagram, and you just click the link tree and you guys freely get in there. I get the notification via Gmail, and I just freely let people in there. You can have the same access to the books that we have also. However, without further ado, I am going to stop being so verbose and from pontificating about on my soapbox, and I'm going to yield the floor to Mother Malika of our jurisprudence gem that we love to go and exercise jurisprudence in, of lawfulliving.com. Islam.
Hey everyone, it's Malika. As Hasan so graciously introduced me. First of all,
unmuted. Gotta unmute that mic, unmuted. Good. Hey,
I can hear her.
You're unmuted.
Okay. So again, I just like to extend my thanks and
I can hear too.
For inviting me to be here. I don't usually just jump into wherever people have been in their mindset. I usually like to know my audience, and I apologize for not doing my research on what the civics part of this program is. So if anybody has,
do what you do on every Tuesday and Thursday.
So
what you do.
So if you don't mind me adding, so basically, I have 2 letters that I sent an alleged attorney. So I was gonna actually pull those up, and then we could kind of just like have fun with that, pick that apart, and go over those concepts with regards to them not having the authority to speak for corporations or whatnot when corporations
Okay.
try to deprive you of your rights.
Well, one thing I will say is that the way to get any situation that you might have with a government pretending agency, as they all are, whether it's with traffic ticket or child support or eviction or even service of process for any kind of court interaction, the foundation of the problem is that the government is not, or agencies thereof, instrumentalities of, or any organization, including corporations organized under the laws of the state, are literally not supposed to be talking to any of us about anything at all, absent our contract with them or actually harming them in their personal capacity. And that's important to know because people presume that there are other reasons that agents of the state in any capacity, whether they be policy officers, mayors, governors, the grocery store managers, even, the only reason they're supposed to be talking to you is if you have given express written consent, documented on the record of whatever that agency is. And again, this is every single thing that you could think of. This is child support. This is everything. This is custody, whatever people want to call the fact that some agent in agency wishes to communicate with you. I know a lot of people are familiar with the FDCPA and maybe even familiar with the part 1692C, 15 USC 1692C, that talks about the consent to communicate. And because it's under that section, I think a lot of people compartmentalize the concept that since we are not slaves, since you're not a slave, right? People just can't come and start talking to you. I mean, kids understand this. They call it stranger danger. But for some reason, when we become adults, people try to get famous. People try to get famous. They want to be known. You know, somebody starts talking to them, they start just talking back. You know, they give you a traffic ticket. I mean, we don't have. We just think, well, I want to keep my license or whatever we think of. I don't know. I haven't had one in a long time. Or so we think. So since I have this license, somebody could come up to my window and start talking to me about it. And on some level that is true, but where it matters, like in the material, which means that having a license is not a death sentence, or at least it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be a one-way ticket to jail either, right? Because the concept of, can this agent talk to me?
Correct.
It is what we have to really conceptualize. When can this agent talk to me? So for example, if you have a driver's license, the only time an agent can lawfully and legally communicate with you is when you are actually operating a commercial business, doing taxable activity, using a commercial vehicle. Okay, that is when they can talk to you. If you're not in a commercial vehicle, or you're not actually on the clock for a government agency performing the functions of public office, they are not supposed to be talking to you. They don't seem to know this because, of course, they make presumptuous accusations like, you're in a motor vehicle, you're operating, you're a driver.
You're in the state.
And all of those terms require you to actually be on the clock getting paid by some sort of government agency. The same thing when they try to talk to you about child support. Same thing when they try to talk to you about child custody. you have to be operating as a foster parent under a license granted by the state. Whenever a state agent is speaking to us, it is because there is a presumption that you're operating as one of the agents of a municipal corporation on some level, state, when it says city, county, or, actual state or federal. This is the presumption. So when you're trying to figure out, how am I going to get my children back? How am I going to handle this traffic ticket? How am I going to deal with this alleged foreclosure or eviction, right? You have to understand that they're not even supposed to be coming to your anything, your whatever version of home shelter you have. They're
Right.
The agents
So
are
let me
not
ask you a question, Malika.
onto that property if that property is not registered to be owned by the agency that's coming to the door.
Emotional outburst question, if you don't mind. So hold on. So are you saying that the only way you can be ran off the road by people is if you already have a contract, an oath of office, and some type of, autograph statement saying that you agree to be pulled over on the side of the road?
Yes. That is literally what has to happen according to their rules. So the way to beat a traffic ticket is by requesting the records that support that presumption that you are an agent, either city, county, state, federal. You are some type of agent with an oath of office, performing the functions of that public office at the minute, whatever that time of day is, that you have been accused of being such person, doing such activity. That is how you beat them for everything. Every single thing that you could imagine. It's based on the presumption that they can talk to you because you have given some type of consent, which according to their rules keeps saying that it has to be written.
Express written, right.
Just like it says in 15 USC 6092C, it has to be express written consent.
Well,
order.
I looked at legal residency under Nevada state laws, and even if you're present in the state, you still have to claim that the amount of time you were present in the state, that was your residency. You have to claim residency. So I don't know why anyone would claim residency and bound themselves to that which they were not bound to prior to that.
Well, again, people tell themselves, I need my license. People tell themselves, I need my marriage license, which is a business license. And the product of that business becomes property of the state because that marriage becomes known as an entity organized under the laws of the state when the application is made for the state to be the referee of that union. That is what people are doing when they get the business license, the merger license from the state. They're pledging the products. And we all know what the products of marriage usually is, right?
Children.
Two corporations being joined together by the powers vested in some agent, some overseer.
In some agent, but think about it, right? The agent that even marries you. Okay, so my sister intentionally went to renew her driver's license in Texas because apparently no one remembers having to swear to take an oath at the DMV in front of the notary. Apparently no one remembers this event, except it always happens.
Mm-hmm.
And on the form in Texas, they have all of the men signing up for selective service. So now usually the way people think about it is, oh my God, I have to renege my signature, or I have to, send some threatening letter or something like that. When what really has to happen is the realization that you never qualified for that business license when you had no intent to operate at the pleasure of the governor. in the performance of the function of public office at least 51% of the time.
Right.
That's what every license is going to require. That's what every registration is going to require.
Yeah,
It's going to
that's
require
Title 26.
a pledging for a certain amount of time, at least 50% of the time, in the use for at the pleasure of the government, the municipal corporation, whether it's be the city, the county, the state, or the United States.
Yeah, that's Title 26 that Malika is quoting. Title 26, United States Code 7701. Of course, shout out to Keith, right? El Hotep Second Wipero, right? Shout out to Keith in that presentation. That's within the jurisprudence gem, within traffic blocking, the traffic blocking group. Right?
So whenever we're looking at court papers,
I mean, he drills
whenever we're looking at
that point in about 26, which is the internal revenue. So, you know what I mean? Yeah. She good? Go ahead. You good? Go ahead. I know it's a delay between us. Go ahead.
There's a delay. I just realized that. So whenever we get any type of communication from any of these agents and agency, whether it be from a so-called attorney or from whatever agency that they're pretending to be an attorney for or whatever, there's going to be there's going to be some confusion, of course, because a lot of people think about discharging debt as creating some sort of instrument that allegedly pays it. And I'm saying that because when people hear what I'm saying, which is we're not qualified to be engaged in a transaction according to the statutory definitions defined there that defines the transaction that we're wishing to do or get into. Okay. So that's why I don't come from it from you're going to discharge the liability or the credit or all these other concepts out there, because literally, if you do not have an intent to use your car, your vehicle, whatever you want to call it, your chariot, right? If you don't have an intent to use it for taxable purposes at least 50% of the time, it doesn't even qualify to be registered.
Yeah, and that whole statement that you have to provide that separate written statement, it's under penalty of perjury, and you have to admit that you know that you're not being treated as the owner of that said alleged vehicle.
Yes. And the thing about it is that other processes like so-called getting a loan for anything at all, it doesn't matter, credit cards, it has similar language when you're in the laws that govern the transaction that we want to get into. Is telling us over and over again, you probably don't qualify to be engaged in this transaction. For example, banks can only give loans to foreigners or other agents of at least some bank, a bank. It doesn't have to be the same bank, but you have to be an agent. They tell you have to be a director, an executive, or a primary shareholder. And then if you think that the loan is for something called real estate, it has to be used as a farm or a ranch. These are the rules. I did not write them. I only read them. So when I hear people saying, well, this is how you can get a mortgage loan and then you cancel it and then you take back your signature or whatever, when I would suggest is we start suing these people for false advertising, because they're saying that they can give you a loan for your dream home, but the laws say that they can only offer you a business opportunity.
Right.
Okay. Under the Small Business Administration. And that's the only people that can qualify. Remember, you still got to be one of those executive directors or primary shareholders. And the primary use, even though you have a house, you have a little house on the prairie that you're using as your homestead, your living quarters. but around you, you're growing crops. We see this when we look at things where they're talking about eviction, when they're talking about foreclosure. When they're talking about non-payment of rent, right? Your street starts doing non-payment of rent, and they start talking about crops,
Military.
and you're like, what? They take crops in lieu of rent. Crops in lieu. I thought you're kicking me out of this apartment because I didn't give you some Federal Reserve notes or promise to pay you in some type of crops in lieu of rent.
Just to add to your wisdom real quick, and I hope it's not too much of a delay, and I hope you heard my emotional outburst right now, because as I even check the chat right on YouTube, right, and there are people that actually respectfully, they come to class all the time, every Tuesday and Thursday, come to Friends in Law, right, every Tuesday and Thursday, and you've aptly named it Bible study, right? And what's actually happening there, guys, we're really running over the concept correction in our mind. Most people are worried about foreign trusts and status correction documentation, when all of that actually deals with you changing your concept in your mind. You've heard Brother Todd say all these licenses and all these things, they're mortgages. Business license, mortgage. I see that in my eyes, business license and mortgage, because a business license is a dead pledge. What you're saying is, hey, I'm going to, do this work 51% of the time or more at the pleasure of the governor, right? So with that being said, to recap, what Malika is saying, if you don't have a contract, if you don't have an oath of office, if you don't have a certified statement saying that you are going to use your energy, your property, including your labor, for more than 50% of the time, doing trade or business. Trade or business actually means performing functions of public office at the pleasure of the governor. Reference 26 United States Code 7701 lowercase h, number 2, capital C, lowercase I for the lowercase Roman numeral 1. All righty. Believe nothing we say. As I can see, some people in the chat is just like, oh, this Malika stuff is crazy. You guys are crazy if you listen to her. Hey, there's a lonely bridge. There's a lonely bridge somewhere, so the trolls got to show up. So I'm just say this. You don't study it. You got to study it. You got to put it in.
You're right. It's crazy. It's crazy when you read the law and you see that you can only be evicted off of a commercial farm. It's crazy when you read who is eligible for a real estate loan and you see that it's only people who are going to be farmers and ranchers, and that's 7 USC 1922. You can read it yourself. Title 7 is the Department of Agriculture, and that's where it defines. The section is called persons eligible for real estate loans. The very first sentence tells you what class of person you have to be. You can go look at it right now. 7 USC 1922. Please
don't believe anything we say. Please don't.
I'm not telling you my belief. I'm not telling anybody my belief. What I'm telling you is a summation of actual code.
May I interject?
Absolutely.
I wasn't going to say anything, but I'm sitting here, my wheels are spinning. So basically what you're saying is they're doing illegal transactions. I get that, in giving loans to people generally for like I said, for homes, for real estate loans and so forth. My question is, why are they doing that? Or is it because we don't read? Or is it because
we don't read?
At some point, did they need?
Their job is to make sure that they let you know what they're doing, which is why they publish their code. Their job is to make sure that right near your signature, it disclaims, I have read and understand.
It sure does.
That's a disclaimer. So if we are lambs and we lay ourselves before lions, which one of us is responsible?
Oh, let me stop.
Should we say to the lion, how dare you take advantage of my offering myself to your church of sacrifice?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we believe that corporations can tell us what to do. We believe corporations can actually talk to us. All the laws of corporations say, if you don't work for us, Please exit the building. When you walk into a bank, they should be like, "Oh, can I see your employee ID?" You. No one talked to them. No one said anything.
Get the stepping, Gina. Let me stop.
Hashtag nobody's supposed to be here.
Just like that song says. You're right. You don't belong in there. So then the next question becomes, well, how do I get all the stuff I need? Didn't they already make it?
Oh my God, that question just popped up in the chat, Malika. Somebody said, well, how do we get a house then?
Yes. I'm suing them for false advertising. Do you guys want to see my screen?
Sure.
It's present is what you press there to share what's on your screen. And then Malika, after that, we can let Brother Arah go in on his documentation too, because you're doing great.
We're gonna get to the documents.
Yes, do your thing.
I'm just gonna show you guys my claim that I'm writing for false advertising. I'm going directly to the builder because the builder is who helps the alleged banksters pretend that, like, they're the go-betweens. They like to pretend that they can bring you to the, us, the lamb, before the lions. They're who presents us on a platter, because we fill out this, whatever they make us fill out in the beginning.
Are you doing a screen share, Malika?
Order form. Yeah, I'm about to do it.
Oh, all right, go ahead. I yield.
Share screen. Okay.
Click under present. Yeah.
Select window.
Whether it's a window, whether it's a tab that you.
Okay. All right.
So, get that option for the whole screen? I'm
that's curious. Everybody.
Can you guys see my screen where it says Superior Court?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not yet.
Okay.
I see.
Oh, okay,
all right.
Okay.
Awesome. So I'm gonna call you back. Baby. So this is an example of what you can do. I've done other things. Some of y'all ain't ready for the other things. Maybe Hasan will whisper it into y'all ear later. But this is one of the things that I suggest we do. And I'm going to show you in this presentation why. So I'm going to come down here to the meat of it, because this is the general allegations. And what I'm alleging is that there is no law that allows not just this company, but them specifically, since this is who I'm suing, Lennar Homes. They're the largest home builder in America. They are not allowed to give loans to anyone who does not work for a bank or is an actual foreigner. Not that you just have this foreign trust address where you're lying, okay? Because you don't live in that other so-called country. Okay, they're not supposed to give private people a loan. So I appreciate the fact that people are willing to do a whole bunch of contortion to get what it is that they want in this world. However, I personally am not willing to contort myself in certain ways for these people, because their own laws that support and create their charters do not allow them to offer private people anything. They're not even supposed to be looking at us, talking to us, telling us what to do, tell us come here, go there. You owe this, give me this deposit. This is how much you need to go to work. This is how much you need. They're basically, when they send you a bill for anything, they're telling you basically you must go and work for me X amount in order to keep me alive. And we just say, sir, yes, sir. Most of us. But this Consumer Loan Act, for example, is what they're subject to. And I know they're subject to this because I literally called. I called the state of Washington and I said, who regulates these people? And they say, oh, this agency regulates them and it's under this act. So I put it in there. Again, you guys always going to hear me say, I'm not making this up. I might put at that's all times relevant here in front of it, but these are their definitions. They're
Correct.
saying persons mean other legal entities. I'm not a legal entity. I'm just a regular woman. I don't have a DBA. I don't wish to have a DBA. If I did have a DBA, that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm forced to have to use it so I can do whatever I want to do. You can't force me into contracting with you.
Right.
Okay. I personally do not hold myself out as ever operating any kind of legal entity at all. And if someone wishes to presume that, that would be only their presumption, but there is no express written intent for me to be or act as or for any type of legal entity, because I don't buy into the fact that I need to become some legal entity to exercise my supposed God-given rights. Okay. The definition of person includes all legal entities. So even the one that they have here says individual. Individual is defined under the IRS as a sole proprietor, which is still a legal entity.
Correct.
Now, a borrower means a person, and person means all legal entities. So therefore, a borrower must be only legal entities. A residential mortgage loan, which means a loan primarily for personal, family, or household use that is secured by a mortgage. Now, look at how they said that. It's a loan for personally, family, and household use that is secured by a mortgage, which means it can't be the loan that they give you for the thing being secured.
Correct. Hold on. Let me ask. So they're actually saying that they loaned you something when actually the whole time the house was yours and you gave it to them to acquire. That's an acquisition. Did I get that right or wrong? I'm open for correction.
Yes. The reason that they need you there at the closing table is because when you express your interest as a regular man or woman in a piece of property and it's available, it is yours. That's like when you go to the Ford website or the Mitsubishi website or whatever, and you design a car and they make an order out of it. And sometimes they even send it to the dealer near you. And then the dealer holds it for ransom because they think that you're eligible for some sort of loan, which they're going to tell you that the loan is secured by the thing that you're buying, that you think you're buying it now. You think you're buying it at this moment. But they can only give you a loan if you already had it and then pledged it to secure the loan.
Right, because the loan, you're allegedly using the loan to get the house. So how are you pledging the house to get the loan?
Exactly. They define a purchaser as a person, again, legal entity, who buys a business opportunity. When you got your house so that you can have some sex and watch some TV and take a shower and have some dinner, you were not thinking, oh yes, I'm gonna get a business up. No, you were not. You had no intent to put a neon sign out front, put open hours, perhaps a drive-through. But when we call ourselves purchasers, we think that, oh, a purchaser is just someone who gives another compensation for a thing. No. So they put out this home known as this address. Okay. They put it out there as if it's for sale or if it can be purchased. This is what they define a business opportunity as: the sale or lease. They include lease, even though they're talking about buying, the so-called purchasing. They're including it to mean a lease. But more importantly, it's for stuff that you're going to use to start a business. Supplies, equipment, service to start a business. But in their advertisement, look at what they say. We will help you find the right home for your family. How can you do that when all you sell is business opportunities?
False advertisement.
Seller means a person who sells or leasing a business opportunity. Making a loan means advancing or offering to advance or making a commitment to advance funds to a borrower for a loan.
Hold on, Malika. Hold on. I got an emotional outburst question. So you're telling me, as you're looking at, and I'm pretty sure RCWs is the Revised Codes of Washington, right, for that
Correct.
particular so-called state. So that means that anybody and everybody that are watching, even the people who are trolling the chat, talking about you better learn consumer rights stuff, she's not talking about that.
Of course, you better learn consumer rights. You better learn it.
I know.
You better learn what a consumer is.
You didn't even get there yet. However, my question is that every so-called state of corporation has within their statutes the equivalent to what you are actually presenting. So people need to find one joinder between, interstate joinder. However, find how we can go and look at United States codes or Code of Federal Regulations, then look at the state statutes, or then look at municipal codes and find the similarities.
The first thing I gave everybody was the 7 USC 1922.
Correct.
Where the title is called persons eligible for real estate loans. If you read that and you think, yes, I am eligible to go into a bank and get this so-called real estate loan.
But I got to be a farmer, don't I? I got to be sharecropping and raising animals and building barns and stuff, right?
Or, again, you could just go in there saying stuff like, I'm a consumer. I'm the natural person. Upon which the legal society can assign and put upon obligations and privileges. If you believe that, that's fine. Okay, so everybody's gonna choose the way they want to die, right? So here they're saying, this is their quote from their ad, we will help you find the right home for your family. But a seller, and they're telling themselves as a seller, this is their quotes. They're calling themselves a seller, but a seller is one who sells or leases a business opportunity.
Yikes.
Okay, so since the residential mortgage loan is secured by an interest on a dwelling, it cannot in fact be used to acquire the dwelling, used as the secured interest for the loan.
Jesus, Bruce Lee Christ.
It's an impossibility. Then, again, we go back to the legislative intent of the regulation for these financial institutions that are giving these alleged loans. And it says clearly that it's through the United States Small Business Administration, and such loans can be made to small businesses by these non-depository lenders, which are all these mortgage lenders. Any of these so-called non-banks, like Lennar is trying to be their own mortgage company, and a lot of institutions that originate mortgage loans are considered non-depository lenders. But you see right here, they're telling you clearly that the loans have to be made to small businesses, which is also the justification for the property tax. So everybody's always looking how to get out of it by using this so-called consumer law, and are seeming to be very upset that someone's showing them that they don't even qualify to get into the mess in the first place. Because we're so concerned with, if I don't get into the mess in the first place, however will I get my Tesla?
So you don't.
Okay.
So again, if it's saying that they're doing trade or business, they don't qualify for a mortgage. They don't qualify for a license. They don't qualify for to have to pay child support because they're not.
Transaction. We don't qualify to be in the transaction for those things. If you want those things, you can make them up yourself. You could, if you want, you could make a paper up and laminate it, call it license. You can do whatever you want. But to say that you are somehow qualified to get a government issued anything, because even when you go to these loans, these banks that are they want to say, oh, we're not a federal bank, but we're organized under Title 12. We're regulated by the Federal Reserve. We conform to even the Housing Act is instituting a part of Title 12. Title 12 USC 1705. Yes,
foreign
12 USC 1705 is what the lenders of these so-called mortgage loans and even the leasers, your apartment buildings, and whoever you're leasing, the state leases from, they're using Title 12 USC 1705 as well. Okay, so I'm just showing you guys.
All right, hey Malika.
Yeah, so I'm gonna let Arya go.
Oh no, that was and that was Arah with this, because like I said, guys, I wanted you all that are viewing now, that will view in the dimensions to come, term the future. You guys will be able to research any and everything that's being presented by any of us actually throughout this whole presentation. And this is why we enjoy going to Malika's classes. We enjoy going exercising there. And it's more than just Moors there. Like, you know what I mean? It's all kinds of people there. And you guys that are Moorish American know we're taking our place amongst the affairs of men. And we're not discriminating in any way, shape, or form. However, when we come across people that carry that same spirit as we've read in our literature pertaining to Prophet Noble Drew Ali, whether people openly admit that they're Moorish American or not, or people that are there that are Albions or whatever, we don't really care, because at the end of the day, one thing's for sure and two things for certain. The Constitution is to be enforced. So you're enforcing the federal level Constitution by proving you're not an agent. You're enforcing the state level Constitution, and anything on the municipal, county, or municipal level for the city, you guys can show. It's one thing to know you're Moorish American, and that's the truth. If you're the whole truth is your descendants pertaining to Moroccans may manifest on American soil. That's okay. That's the whole truth. But the short truth is you're not a federal agent contracted with an oath that you've taken, and a certain, when these people pulled you over in the first place to write you this is usually what these things say. It says citation, complaint, and summons, which violates Rule 4 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. So every ticket can be thrown out on a technicality. Every citation that someone's given on the side of the road can alone be thrown out on that technicality. However, we also go over in our minds, and just shared today in the jurisprudence gem, that these people run you off the road, or just for an example, they're rear-ending your life. So you make an insurance claim at risk management. That's what you do. However, we know that we're saying these things plainly so you guys can go and research these things for yourself, because we're not going to write your documentation for you. We all have templates. You know what I'm saying? And even the things that Malika has on her website, we still will use our documents without Moorish heading, but there's wisdom in everything that she's presenting. So that's why I'm backing, beyond a shadow of a doubt, backing what Malika presents, because I've had years before meeting Malika just seeing what Brother Taj has written in different books on different websites, alrighty, and then reading the information myself, so I can recognize the principle that Malika presents, every Tuesday and every Thursday. And her daughter's behind her. All her children know this stuff too. It's not a game. Like, Malika doesn't play. Like, so for me, she's the epitome actually of what all our Moorish mothers should actually be doing when it really comes to knowing how to protect the family from being molested by agents and their agency practices. I yield the floor to Brother Arah.
Islam, bro. So I'm gonna go ahead and just to add to like what Mother Malika was saying about the government having to be an agent for the government to actually be held subject to the statutes, right, of whatever state. So this right here is chapter 118, which is landlord and tenant dwellings. Can you guys see the screen?
No.
I can't see it.
It's taking some time. I think it's probably taking some time. It's warming up. It's heating up. Like NBA Jam, it's heating up.
It hasn't popped up yet.
Still don't see it?
Okay. Here it is.
Okay. All right, cool. You see it now.
Yay!
All right, so really like she was saying, you don't have to really read much of it, because once you look at like the definitions, the applicability, the legislative intent, that pretty much narrows it down to who it's for. But if we just go look at person now, mind you, let's see here. If we do a quick search of person. Person is used 87 times in this Landlord-Tenant Act, right? Now, what is person under this chapter? Person includes, and includes means to close off, right? To enclose includes a government, a governmental agency. Person defined. Person includes a government, a governmental agency, and a political subdivision of a government. Which is very funny because if I really quick take you here to NRS Chapter 0, yes, they have a Chapter 0, which is a preliminary chapter. And we look at these definitions here. They have the word person here. So just so you know, it says that the scope, this chapter provides definitions and declarations of legislative intent which apply to Nevada revised statutes as a whole. So that's why I wanted to take a look at the definition of person here in this chapter, right? And it specifically states at the end, the term does not include government, governmental agency, or political subdivision of a government. But it says, except as otherwise provided expressly, except as otherwise expressly provided in a particular statute or required by the context. Person means, and then it goes into what it means, and it says it does not include the government. So if it's expressly provided in a particular statute, it should be by that definition of that particular chapter, correct?
Correct.
So in this chapter, they do define person. Again, this is under landlord-tenant dwellings. This is just to show you what they're using to evict people out of their homes, which they're not supposed to be doing. Right?
Correct.
A person includes a government, governmental agency, and a political subdivision of a government. Then when you look at tenant, right, it's impossible to be a tenant unless you're the government. Because a tenant is defined as a person first and foremost, which means you got to be a governmental agency or political subdivision thereof. Under a rental agreement to occupy a dwelling unit, right? So what is a dwelling unit? A dwelling unit means a structure or part of a structure. Now check how they try to trick you here with their language. Or part of a structure that is occupied as, or designed or intended for occupancy as. See, they threw that one in there. That's a curveball, first of all, because first they said a structure that is occupied as, and then they're like, or at least it's designed or intended for occupancy as a residence. And I'm not going to pull up chapter 10 where they define legal residence, but I'll just tell you real quick. Legal residence is something you have to claim. So then
add to your wisdom, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Islam, dwelling. If you look up the word dwell etymologically, it means to be struck in the head. So a lot of people are struck in the head. They're in a stupor. For example, those that are in the chat asking questions such as, so what do we men do? Get land for our women and children? Too much talk from the Moors. Actually, what we're saying is to you guys, without you being an idiot. What you're to do is sincerely study that are forcing you under a hypnosis where you think that you have to be separated from people, place amongst the affairs of men. And if Keith was here, you guys would see an Albion's son that we actually get a lot of exercise from, along with Malika, guys. You guys gonna have to open your minds a little more and really comprehend that you've been in a dwelling inside of your bodies most of your life, deceived and misled. However, it's only due to your social engineering. Instead of, maybe you should probably open up the revised statutes near you to see how these things do not apply to the common people. And when I say people, I'm talking about non-statutory people. When I say person, I'm speaking on non-statutory person. The North American Republic Constitution for the United States for America, the people have the right to be secure in their person, houses, papers. Alrighty, when do we just get land and a house for women and children? I'm tired of hearing more. Guys, get over yourselves. Stop crying. Alrighty, stop it. I yield the floor, bro. It's long.
It's long. So yeah, guys, stop crying and saying dumb stuff. Just kind of like pay attention, take notes, and then do your own research so that you can actually be able to free yourself mentally, right, from that mental bondage that you're stuck in. So again, it has to be occupied as or intended for occupancy as a residence, right? Which means you're in the state, which means you're on federal land, right? Or this is where they really try to trick you. Or sleeping place. But remember, they're saying sleeping place by who? By one person, that's a governmental agency, or political subdivision of government who maintains a household, or by two or more persons who maintain a common household. That's two or more governments, governmental agencies, or political subdivisions, right? And when they say household, I'm like, okay, so what does household mean? They don't want to define household, right? But guess what we did find defined? We find in chapter 40, which, by the way, I have it right here. Chapter 40 is where they do all their unlawful detainers. And just so you see, when they bring up unlawful detainers, they also bring up what? Chapter 118A, which is, again, landlord-tenant dwellings. And guess where they define household at? It's here, but it's not actually the exact word. Let me show you the trickery, and let me show you how it is all dealing with government. They define household member. Household member. Household member means a person who is related by blood, marriage, adoption,
or other legal
process, and is currently residing with who? A
federal worker,
tribal worker, or a state worker affected by a shutdown. So that tells me that it's a military home.
Bro, you said tribal worker. So to all you beings out there that's talking about your tribes and stuff, you need to read 25 United States Code 5304 and see that an Indian is actually a federal agent under a collective bargaining agreement. All right, see, what we're showing you here is not do things our way. We're showing you the short truth. The truth is what you are, right? So let's say, for example, mostly Moorish Americans here. So you're Moorish American. I'm just speaking to you guys particularly. Then the whole truth is you're a descendant of Moroccans, made manifest on American land. Cool, got that. Let's do the short truth. What are you not? You're not supposed to be forced to act under these statutes, which is what Malika showed you guys. That's why she's suing Lennar for false advertisement, because that is showing that that's a hypnosis coming from bankers in cahoots with barristers. All right, you got a group of barristers that say, I want to volunteer and have the Uniform Law Commission, and let's get these so-called states to adopt this and force the people to be residents dwelling in the state, which just means you're stupid. You're the actual idiot. All righty, that wants to get land for the babies and the mothers. Stop it, guys. This is so that you can see that this is what you are not. Stop trying to be slick. Stop trying to get Federal Reserve notes unless you're a Federal Reserve agent under 12 United States Code 411. You're playing yourself. All righty, this is a life raft. Stop rejecting it. If it looks like a plaid life raft, do not let it be against your beliefs. All righty, it's just grab onto it and stop swimming with sharks. You're missing a couple of feet. All righty, I yield, bro. It's long.
Indeed, and I'm gonna make this quick just to get through these two letters real quick. Now, what I'm about to present right now is two letters that I sent an alleged attorney who, when I filed a complaint, I filed a dispute with the Public Utilities Commission because I know that I'm not supposed to be transacting. It's impossible for me to transact or pay for power energy, right? Electric energy Because one, I'm not using it for commercial purposes. Two, I'm not a slave, so I can't be forced to contract for Federal Reserve notes, which are unconstitutional, which I also do not have the authority to handle pursuant to 12 U.S.C. subsection 411. Therefore, it is my position that either they're trying to enslave me or they want me to break the law, either or, right? So when I filed my dispute, this attorney wrote a response to the Utilities Commission for the power company, and this was my response. A lot of it is redacted just because it's private. I want to keep things private, but the gist of it is here. So, notice and demand to show authority on October. You sent a correspondence to an investigator for the Public Utilities Commission of Nevada as an attempt to respond for and in the name of NV Energy as an alleged senior attorney and Esquire. You are hereby placed on notice that your alleged authority to act in general and on behalf of NV Energy is in question. It is demanded of you to produce proof that you have been delegated corporate power of attorney to represent, to act in the name of, and to speak and correspond for NV Energy by the appropriate governing authority pertaining to NV Energy. Failure to produce the lawfully delegated corporate power of attorney. I actually shortened that because I wanted to fit it in one page. But power of attorney, POA, for the company you seek to represent, or no response from you in 15 days from the date of receiving this notice will constitute tacit acquiescence, thereby admitting by your own silence and omissions that you are not in receipt of such authority to act for NV Energy, and all previous and future attempts to correspond for and in the name of NV Energy are legal forgeries, ipso jure, right? By the mere act of the law, just because the law says so, not because I say so. 18 U.S.C. 471 and 472. Furthermore, it is noted that you have no constitutional authority to take on a foreign title of nobility, i.e. Esquire. Excuse me. Nor do companies possess the constitutional authority to hire anyone who takes on such titles. Anybody who knows about corporations know that their governing document are the bylaws. There should be, and I know in the state laws, in the state statutes of Nevada, right, they say that a corporation's bylaws have to be in accordance with the Constitution. So there's no way that a company's bylaws can allow them to hire someone who takes on a foreign title of nobility that's been prohibited by the Constitution. Such foreign titles of nobility are prohibited by the Constitution for the United States of America at Article 1, Section 9 and Article 1, Section 10. You are thereby operating unconstitutionally in violation of any oath you may have taken or should have taken to support and defend the Constitution. Sincerely. I just sent this off. I gave him 15 days. What happened? No response. So this is what he got.
So me and Sunny having a good laugh over here about that.
So I sent this off, right? I'm not going to tell you when, right? Let y'all guess. Judicial notice, liability and intent to sue. Due to your unlawful acts, you are hereby given just and lawful judicial notice that you are liable for suit in United States District Court. For the record, my notice and demand to show authority to act dated was sent to you at the mailing address listed above and was successfully delivered per United States Postal Service certified tracking number at 157. You were to produce within 15 days corporate power of attorney to speak for, litigate, or act on behalf of NV Energy Inc. As of the current date, you are in fact, by your own silence and omissions, in tacit agreement that you are not in possession of any delegated corporate power of attorney to represent or present yourself for or in the name of NV Energy Inc. Now, real quick, the last thing I'm going to present is dealing with the forgery. I'm going to get through that in 5 minutes. I'll be done. So this is what I start describing here, and you're going to see it when I jump to that portion, right? Acting as NV Energy and creating a false document from scratch with a forged signature misrepresents the identity of the person you are attempting to act on behalf of and has a significant legal consequence pertaining to the rights of the parties involved in public utilities dispute and investigation file blank versus NV Energy. Anyone who claims to be an attorney is presumed to know the law well enough to know who they can and can't render legal services to and for. Your actions are evidence pertaining to willful intent to defraud and trick me into forced compliance with a fictitious obligation, which is what the power bill is, a fictitious obligation, constituting legal forgery. Excuse me.
Finish him.
That's 18 USC 514. That's a crime. Fictitious obligations, 18 USC 514.
Islam. And then here is a quick piece on forgery that I was going over, and I thought it just highlighted it well. So just to sum it up, forgery has basically like these 4 elements. A person must make, alter, or use or possess a false document. Forgery can be creating a false document from scratch, which is what he did. He responded as he was the corporation. He responded for the corporation like he was the corporation and signed as an attorney who is authorized to do so. But only the governing head of a business can hire an attorney. It can't just be any manager, any member of the board. It has to be the entire board, right? So I know that his bylaws can't say that, and if they did say that, they would still be in violation because the attorney is bearing a foreign title of nobility, esquire, which is a knight in training. So the writing must have legal significance. So the legal significance is the fact that what he's getting his business, what he's sticking his nose in, that's not his business, is going to affect the rights of the parties, right? Legally significant means that the document affects legal rights or obligations. And then the writing must be false. I didn't show you what he wrote, but everything he wrote was false because he's calling me a retail customer, and a retail customer has a contract. They can't produce it. Intent to defraud, obviously. He had the intention to try to get me to continue to pay, quote unquote, a fictitious obligation. So yes, he is intending to defraud. And that's pretty much it. I yield. Slow.
That was awesome.
Let me see. Is he
you on mute, Hasan?
Jim, I know Malika's actually. Oh, I thought I unmuted. Forgive me. I thought I hit the unmute. So you guys like bro, you went in. You and Malika, like you guys as always. Like this is what we do. Like I and Brother Arah, we've been like maybe a little bit here taking a break, but there was at one point in time, and this is how it usually is. We're usually on these things. Brother Arah studies. He'll bring something to my attention. I'm all in it. Usually when I'm like doing the dishes or things like that, I'm on Lawful Living looking at all the videos that are there or the classes that we just did recently. The beloved Mother Oracle, again, I won't say who she is, but she's actually in the chat. Peaceful greetings, beloved mother. I'm so glad you showed up. So just to put it out there, guys, this is not necessarily about, even though we're Moorish American, right? And somebody asked, oh, did Malika declare and proclaim her nationality yet? That's not the point that Malika's bringing, or any of us. What we're actually saying is these people aren't supposed to be talking to you. The policy enforcer running you over off the road, not supposed to be talking to you. The people trying to put you out your house, not supposed to be talking to you. Oh, CPS wants to take your children, huh? They're not supposed to be talking to you. Unless unless it's proven for the record that you're a federal agent that has a contract, an oath of office, and a certified statement that you autograph that says you consent to this thing. So what you really have, well, you know the status you have to correct, you guys that are out there. And I know, look, we're some fez wearing Moors here, and we're going to always be Moorish American. That does not stop us from enforcing the principle when it's there, guys. You guys got to really look past this little pocket group think type thing that you do out there. That's really going to hurt us in the long run because we're here for the entire planet. So what are you doing when people, you know, like we know, being Moorish American, you got Albion sons and daughters, subjects under Moorish law. However, at the end of the day, what's more important? They're making sure that they know that they're subjects under Moorish law, or the fact that they're actually helping you and throwing you a life raft and you're drowning. Like, are you serious? I'm not saying you're lost at sea. I'm saying you're drowning in your own stupidity, being an idiot.
One
Black's
of
Law
the
Dictionary,
problems,
4th edition.
one of the problems is, if I may interject, brother, is
I
that
yield.
we get stuck in playing these tribalistic roles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's really the character of whoever it is that you're dealing with that matters. And
Correct.
some of us, we need that challenge maybe of trying to pretend to straddle the wall, because even with what Arah just showed, I was hoping that he went to the screen that had all the definitions, so that people can just see the definitions that are there under the Landlord Tenant Act, for example, that say federal worker, state worker. Like, okay, so why are those the only natural persons defined? Might it be that it has to be federal so-called housing? Might it be that it's only for federal agents, state agents? But people want to, I don't know, have like a monster or something to fight. So they want to get in the mess and then figure out how to discharge the mess. So they want somebody to show them how to turn the coupon at the corner, at the end of the so-called light bill, when Arah is like, wait a minute, I read your codes and I'm not one of the persons subject to be in the transaction. I'm just supposed to be enjoying my lights.
Can
People
y'all see
don't
the
want to
screen?
hear that. That takes a shift in mindset. Oh, you mean I can't turn my thing on the bottom into a check? No, you're not gonna bust into the back door of the Treasury Direct either. It's not gonna happen. Anybody who's telling you that is filling your head with lies.
Can you see the screen that I'm sharing?
Yeah, we can see it now for the
Yeah.
Nevada Revised Statutes
Yeah, right there.
40.001.
This is the Landlord Tenant Act. This
No,
is
this is
gonna,
the this is
their
the
definition
this
is
is the
gonna
one.
have their subject matter jurisdiction.
This is actually the actions and proceedings that they use to kick you out, right? Which is under chapter. This is where all the unlawful detainers are at. But again, remember when I showed you, they reference chapter 118 throughout all of this. See that?
Correct.
And then 11B is mobile homes.
So hold on. So that means that this portion for the put you out is basically an attachment to the landlord tenant section of chapter 118. However, no one can be put out unless they have a due process hearing through HUD under Title 42 United States Code 1437 DK, if I remember that properly. And the only way you can get put out of a place is if it's dealing with so-called drugs.
Right, or
that's it.
Property.
I mean, I'm hoping for correction. I know you might get into the astrology.
I want to know how to pledge my birth certificate as my rent.
Yeah.
I want to know how to turn the numbers in the back of the Social Security card into how I'm going to get this new whip. And if Malika's not talking about that, she's over here telling us we're not even qualified to engage in the transaction. I can't think. My brain can't switch off the BS.
Because I want to be a Federal Reserve agent. I gotta get to the bag, Malika. So how do I use the QSIP number and the birth certificate and keep doing human trafficking? I want to sell myself. I'm a prostitute.
Okay, right.
And it's straight human trafficking.
I know where you could go with that. Remember, I told y'all earlier today.
There's a corner. Let me stop.
No, it'll be at a mansion. It'll be at a mansion in Miami. I still got the hookup. You're still getting screwed, but it'll be on South Beach.
Wow.
No, seriously, people don't want to stop the nonsense. People want to continue the nonsense. They just want to be whipped a little bit softer, whipped a little less frequently, but they don't actually mind the slavery. They do. When you mind the slavery, you do things different. When you don't mind the slavery, you do things different. You do things another way. And a lot of people are not over prostituting themselves, merchandising themselves, and merchandising others. So they just want to figure out how they can do it.
So before we get into the astrology, guys, you want to know why you don't see someone wearing a yarmulke at central booking or being put out of their home? Because they comprehend what they are not. They comprehend that they don't have a federal contract. They didn't take an oath. They didn't make a certified statement autograph, right? So those of you that are in the chat saying false, that's not true. The police came in here and held guns to my children's face and scared us. 9 times out of 10, you didn't study. You were hoping that Malika or somebody else would do your paperwork, or you were hoping by osmosis it would just come down and fall on you from the heavens, all of the competence that you need for probably a situation you tried to handle in less than a moon cycle. It's like, well,
if you didn't go to your city charter, if you didn't go to the city charter and pull up the part where it says that the policy officers only have jurisdiction over property of the city, and you're trying to figure out how they came to your apartment or your brownstone or your house, or how did you get it? Like, does it say precinct number something or the other? Like, is this city hall, the town hall? You know, if you don't recognize those concepts as it's written in the ordinances, you're going to make poor arguments.
Yeah. Especially if you think you're in the state.
You didn't make your Moorish flag big enough, or or whatever else you might use. Because it's
hang it out the door and yell.
Yeah, but they have the knowledge to stand on it. When people come to me and they say, I created a trust, I put my children in there, or I put my car in there, I put my house in there, and they still took it. And I'm like, what trust are you talking about? But I'm the crazy one. I'm me reading all the statutes. I'm the crazy one.
All right, so I guess this is where we segue into the astrology, man. Hey guys, I want to leave a time for you guys to ask questions, right? So I am actively looking at the chat. I am my beloved mother mistress consort. We are just looking at this chat here, just looking.
I got a quick emotional outburst.
Go ahead, man. Do your thing.
Well, first and foremost, I want to say thank you, Naila, Dr. G, for having us, right? And also honors to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I want to say real quick, Noble Drew Ali said, we will not be securing anything until we're secure in economics, right? In our economy. And there is no way to be secure on the fiat currency, on the Federal Reserve System. There is no way to be secure. You're going to be a slave. If you got a lot of fiat and you can do what you want, so to speak, you think you're still paying taxes, you're still subject to that system, you're not secure. So the first things first is people need to comprehend what money is not, and how they're actually supposed to operate based off their birthrights, not, because the governor allowed me to do this, right? Not at the pleasure of the governor, right? At the pleasure of thyself. Law is master, right? I self law and master. Islam.
Is Keith in the background, Dr. G, waiting? El Perro? Because I just read the chat. Is Keith there?
Okay, here we are.
Oh, word wizard. Let's do it. Let's do it. Hey, let's do this.
Greetings.
Greetings, Keith. Hey, Keith, let him have it real quick, man. Can you give him 5-10 minutes of why the certification is false?
Oh yeah, that's an easy one. Because I'm told by my hand I'm to write these words are true and faithful. And if I don't write these words are true and faithful, then it's not true and faithful. Therefore, there's a requirement for a testimony to make sure that certification is true. And the only way that certification can be true is if you make it by your hand. Now, the problem with these certifications goes to our Father which art in heaven. There is only one Father which art in heaven. You're not supposed to pay tribute to an earthly father. So when we pen all these things in our name and we use that earthly name, there's no way in hell one single letter, one single stroke can be true and faithful. Not one. The certification is false, mainly because everybody presumes that the state is the one that's certifying things. No. There's supposed to be 2 certifications in a transaction showing that both parties agree. And that certification from both parties is that statement of agreement, of intent. If there is no statement of intent, then that license is no good. It's stated in law clearly. 3 documents that need to take place in order for a transaction to be valid. That's the agreement, which is the contract, the statement, which is the statement of intent, and the actual certificate itself, clarifying that it is a valid transaction and is now operable.
Indeed. So Keith is the one who has
Are there
the.
any transactions, Keith? Are there any transactions that escape those 3 requirements? Are there any transactions whatsoever at all in any? No, what?
None. This is a military operation, guys. We do not have a governing body. Okay, these politicians up here, those are corporate people. Okay, that's all they are. It is not a government. The government we have is provided by a military corporate entity. You get that? It's a military corporate entity. Nothing more and nothing less. That military corporate entity is the Postal Union, consisting of 40 member countries that partake in the primary activities of the 193 member countries of the United Nations. Of those 40 member countries, those are the main governing bodies that contribute to the Postal Union. But all 193 countries give a donation of their gross domestic product to this Postal Union. This is the monetary system. You're not subject to it. And I can prove it. And you don't have to prove any kind of nationality.
I think one of the issues that we're running into is that people do not want actual freedom. They want to be free from freedom. They need to be saved from freedom, like what is his name? What's Thor's brother's name? Yes.
I find today.
Who's Sonny saying?
I find today in these modern times, and it's not a dig. I see a lot of people up here with the Moors, and my brother Hasan knows me very well. He knows it's not a dig against you guys. But the thing about the nationality, the Quran, the Torah, and the King James Version of the Bible are all 3 spiritual scriptures that are sets of documents that are meant to work together on a level of communication so that we can get together as varying, diverse nations. Okay? But in the King James Version of the Bible, again, Noble Drew Ali made a very patent observation and contribution to society by doing what he did and making those declarations and giving a path for people to come together to do so. However, he got that from the scriptures themselves. Scriptures in the King James Version of the Bible tells us, Jeremiah 1:5, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. Ain't no one knows me better than him. No one. No one. Before thou was cast from the womb, I sanctified thee. I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. This tells me that I am a sojourner with him, traveling in and out of all the lands that he preserves by going out and coming in. Because they're his lands, and they're not to be sold forever. And I'm a stranger and sojourner with him, granting a redemption to the land and the people in the lands that I possess, because I walk with him. And nobody can deny that. No one. No one in any of those hats will deny it, because your scriptures will allow for it with the same concept. Honor all prophets. I believe you remember that part of your scriptures, correct?
Mm-hmm. We honor all divine prophets: Ali, Buddha, Confucius, Jesus, and Muhammad.
Yes,
all true and divine prophets, not the phony prophets.
Well,
not the fake.
One way to tell a phony prophet is the one that's always trying to walk that line, showing people how to get the bag. Okay, a lot of people are going to be upset because, again, they think they talk equity, but they chasing a bag. So when we talk about not being qualified to be engaged in the transaction, some people are not going to want to hear that, because they wish to engage in the transaction of merchandising themselves and their neighbors and their children. Even there are plenty of people that are okay with merchandising themselves and their own children. There are people out there who sell their children into physical slavery, sexual abuse, and stuff like that. Some people they can't comprehend, but this is the same thing that we're seeing when people reject the fact that they're not qualified to be in the transaction because they just tell themselves, well, I want the thing that's promised to me at the end of this transaction. But isn't that what deceivers do? Deceivers promise you the thing that you wish to have at the end, but the way that you must go to get it, they're gonna paint as expensive. Okay. The easy way, show me your authority to talk to me way, that's difficult. That's difficult for a lot of people.
I got to ask everybody, how much more expensive can it get if you give everything up already? What else can they take from you? How much more expensive can it get if you have nothing to give?
It's long. Well, let me say here, because I see where we at so far. We're an hour and 25 in. I know what we have left as far as the portion to the astrology, which to us, astrology and civics can't be separated. They go hand in hand. You know, when Malika is saying that she is not this corporate entity, but is actually descended from her mother's womb, you know what I mean, by the grace of God. Even Keith is saying that. Now we know God is to call upon. So yeah, there's a calling that happened between all of our mothers and fathers, right? So you guys know what I'm gonna do in segueing in this, but show where's the connection in the civics with the astrology. What I'm going to present is a few months ago, Brother Tamari Bey, who I'm pretty sure, guys, if he was to see this presentation, you guys would see completely that with what things he said that you say, oh, Brother Taj, so deep, he goes over my head. We're actually fulfilling a lot of the things that he said in plenty of lectures over the last 11 years with Dr. Nael at House of Reawakening Minds and other venues. All righty. We're actually fulfilling it. I know some people, though, some even on our side of the nation, as you know, as it says in the letter to be read in every meeting, they're going to try to find a way that we're loud and wrong, or we're not being faithful Moors, when what we're actually doing is what even Keith just said. We're actually taking our place amongst the affairs of men and seeing the cohesiveness in everything so that we can bring everyone together, not by us doing the work for you. What we're actually doing is showing you how we go about eating our meal. Hey, this is how we use our fork and knife when we eat in these statutes and regurgitate them back to the people that are trying to say this doesn't apply to me. Yes, it does. You took it. You're Jeffrey. We're the Fresh Prince, and we're going to show you that this is how you stand in the Banks residence. You got that, Banks? You heard that again? But we're not doing Title 12 foreign banking stuff. Alrighty, so Veritas, Veritas, right, was a book, and it's a presentation on 7HealStar within the playlist section. It's like 14 videos, but the last one I think is like a two-parter. And we actually take your Bible, your Quran, and all your holy books. We actually show you in this one document that all of the holy books are law books by way of Astro-Masonics. Nobody had to bend it over and bust it wide open and have their fez tassel pent down and swore an oath of death. We didn't have to do that. All we're doing is being sincere. Again, the beloved mother, beloved mother Oracle, I thank you and Sister Naj for introducing me to Malika and Lawful Living, because I do see how it can really help everyone. However, what I recognize, it's only going to help those that are willing to be Sioux warriors. You come to Lawful Living, no one's going to hold your hand. No one. Malika's not going to hold your hand. I don't see it. I don't see evidence of hand holding happening. I don't see evidence of Keith holding people's hands. However, we all do have individual Zooms, and at times there are impromptu classes that happen. You guys seen Malika on presentations on Fridays before with our impromptu improv. All righty.
I don't have my own. I just jump on everybody else's.
Keith does have a YouTube though. You do have. What's your YouTube, Keith? By the way, can you put that out there?
Yeah, I'll drop it in the chat.
All right, cool. So with that, guys, what we're saying is we are not trying. However, we are just by sincerity fulfilling prophecy without trying to be Prophet Noble Drali 5011. What we're doing in fulfilling prophecy and uplifting fallen humanity is sharing with the common people the knowledge and information without trying to get in your purse or your body. honestly. And then when you see what it is that we share and you want more of it, 9 times out of 10, there's an eleemosynary tuition or a donation that you can make that's nominal. All right, to keep the trolls away. That's the whole purpose for the eleemosynary tuition or donation. I'm pretty sure even Malika can back that one. We need to keep away from the trolls, because a lot of people would just come to different platforms just to be like, no, that's not true. Oh, well, why are you saying ish after more? Oh, bro, there are people losing their children. Is that really your argument in chat right now? Like, you really trying to distract? Like, I embrace the heckler. However, I said all of that to say, let's transition into the astrology. Why is this important? The chart that I got here behind me, right, which is very interesting, is actually about today. Office hours with Dr. G. However, I want Brother Alim L first to go in on his experience, right? I want Brother Alim L first to go in on his experience. However, this chart that I have behind me, right? Let me turn these lights out. Just want to show you briefly, guys. The chart that I have behind me, all righty, is really about office hours with Dr. G, right? And Leo's on the rise here. That's what I thought. When I saw that, I was like, wow. Leo's actually on the rise. So we're going to be very creative. We're going to have a great time. We're going to be jovial with it. However, where's the sun? So the sun is clearly, right? Let me see if I'm going back here. Boom, right there. All righty. In the 5th house, having accidental dignity, which means we're actually bringing light to some things in a jovial fashion where you guys can see how intercourse is actually supposed to go without you being upset or confused or things of that nature, so to speak. However, even right now for my actual personal natal chart, this sun is on my Jupiter. So I'm having a great time today making sure that I can bring light and expanding how we are supposed to intercourse. I know 5th house deals with sex, but when I say intercourse, I'm talking about Henry Campbell Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition. Intercourse means communication. So what we're going to bring to light here is how the people, alrighty, the people, you are the ones that are the fresh prince. Whoever is taking an oath of office, which you haven't, whoever has a contract, which you do not, whoever's made a certified statement and signed it, which you haven't, they are the ones that are your Jeffrey. They are your public servants. And if you are not them, then you should know how to be the people that right now you guys can't see it, but Regulus is at about 0 degrees, maybe 1 degree. Brother Sean can back me on that. About 0 degrees, maybe, I'm going to say about, I don't know, about 20 minutes or so, Brother Sean, possibly, if not less. And so Regulus is the heart of the lion. And with that being in Virgo now, right? The constellation Leo has a star in Virgo. That means the king must serve the people. So in other words, you guys need to learn this stuff and be able to have those that assume, and I do mean assume, that they have authority over you. What you have to expressly do and make sure that you do is be able to articulate that you are not the public servant. Therefore, you can't be held to a citation / ticket on the side of the road. You're not the police. They can only police the police. However, if you don't know this, then you're going to make arguments about, oh, astrology's bullshit and what Malika and them are talking about is bullshit. No, your thinking is. Pardon my Egyptian brogue. However, I'm just saying you guys have to really see that this is about you going inside yourself. Alrighty. What's also very interesting about this particular chart here, right? And I'm just going off of the ascendant because the ascendant is the pitcher from which you pour. If everything in the chart is Kool-Aid, if all of this is Kool-Aid in the chart, how do you do it? You do it through the ascendant. So you're going to do it in a Leonian fashion. The key word for Leo, being the 5th sign of the zodiac, is creativity and recreation and dealing with children and having a really great time, actually, and having fun. You guys have to have fun with this. You cannot lament All right, you cannot lament these things and be like, oh man, it's so boring. Oh, it's too much information. I've been on this website and it's too much information. I've been on that website. Oh, well, I've tried this. Well, this doesn't work. What has to work is your thinking, your concept correction in your mind, which is what Brother Taj has been talking about since 1982 and making the Moore's Order of the Round Table, guys. Like, you guys really have to see this is not about starting your own provincial state, starting your own nation. That we already have that. One mother's breast have given us up. You know what that breast is? As it is above, so it is below. The breast above is the Milky Way, which we're all under. We're all under that bosom. And then the below breast is that which you grow your food out of. That's the soil. So once you guys really change your concept in mind, you'll stop trying to make merchandise of each other. But Hasan, you guys do astrology for Alim tuition through a Cash App. Isn't that making merchandise? No, there's a product and or service that we are providing for the energy that we put out. So we're making sure that you're not just trying to be a vampire and suck on us. You really want what you actually really need, which we actually already give you. You can go cash your chart for free on 7HealStar.com. You can go get all the notes that we share freely and download them from 7HealStar.com. You want all the books that we read from? Sure, fine. Go to 7HealStar on Instagram or Astrology Street on Instagram. Click the link tree. You'll see Prophet Noble Drew Ali University. You guys can get all of that without sending anything via Cash App. However, you want me, Malika, or anyone else here on this panel to sit with you and take time out of our day from our loved ones and cleaning our kitchens and stuff like that, then just respect our energy by exchanging energy. We don't give a shit if it's, pardon my language, we don't care if it's actually a silver coin, Cash App, whatever. Just show that you actually respect us exchanging our energy, because we have loved ones we have to take care of. Their children we care for, actually in the house with us. All righty. So make sure you guys really comprehend what's really going on here. So now let's go into it, Brother Sean. I'm ready to go in on astro literacy comprehension. Let's do this. I see the time we have left. We don't really need that long. I just really wanted the people to actually hear that there is a remedy out there for, oh, I got a mortgage, I'm being put out. Oh, I got this rent, people are trying to evict me. Oh, I got a ticket. How do I handle this? I got court in 10 days. Oh, they're taking my children or trying to take my children. That's what I told Dr. Naila. I'm like, Dr. Naila, these are the people, and we have also, and we can see and prove any and everything that Brother Taj has ever talked about or published. Like, we go to this class and we call it the Jurisprudence Gym. However, guys, lawfulliving.com. All right, and if you see that it's like, oh, well, it's 2 notes for me to get in. Good, that's the troll toll. That's how I look at it. It's the freaking troll toll, because you got to keep people out. You know what I mean? You guys can't come in BS, and there are people even here in the chat. I saw Am Woman. I saw I think AIM in here. I think I saw Cindy. I saw a few beings in here that actually attend lawful living just as much as we do every Tuesday and Thursday. These people aren't playing, man. These people are not playing with their life. These people are actively putting in court documents like you see Malika and Arah are doing. Of course, you guys know I'm still, doing what I do as far as for Moorish Americans and things with writ comprehension and things like that, because of those of us that are student and staff pertaining to Moorish Heritage and History School. So that's where you started. Cool. Go to lawfulliving.com so you can further exercise your jurisprudent mind. All righty, Brother Sean, can I yield the floor to you, bro? I'm pretty sure you can do some screen sharing, bro, with your computer if that's what you're on. Let's go in on some comprehension, bro. What's good?
Indeedy. Where shall we get started? We want to pull up a chart. We want to pull up Encyclopedia Astrology to show the people that astrology and civics go together.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah. Let's go into the Encyclopedia of Astrology by Nicholas DeVore, and let's go to the houses section. And let's just read the mundane portions that we highlighted when I and Brother Arah did the Astro Literacy Comprehension Conference, where we went in for 3 moon cycles straight to just make sure when people come later, they want access to the Astro Literacy Comprehension Conference. We have it there for you guys. However, when we put together videos like that on Zoom, they come with video and audio. Yes, there is an Alim tuition. guys, before you transact anything with us, I or Malika or anyone, make sure you comprehend what I mean by Elim tuition. ELEMOSYNARY. That's Elim. And you'll basically see that that's dealing with alms giving. So technically, I know people, oh, we're not poor. No, we're not poor. However, we're doing technically, quote unquote, poor righteous teaching. Whereas we're not asking you actively for a cost. However, you're getting this at expense. And that expense that it's costing us is an exchange, that expense that it is an exchange of energy. All righty, so respect the energy exchange because we're going to make sure you have more than what you need. If anyone that's here that's got a mirror astro literacy session from me, you already know. 9 times out of 10, the stuff that we already give you guys for no exchange, you don't really even comprehend it until you have a conversation with us, let alone have a mirror session with us. So we're really here enforcing the charge. In order to change the people, you must change their literature. And I'm quoting Al-Hajj Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali doing religious corporate activity by affidavit, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I yield, Brother Sean. Islam.
Indeed, Islam. Yeah, I think the people just need to get out of the hypnosis and get over themselves of the truth that we've been hoodwinked, duped, whatever you like to call it, and let's start fixing things. You know, like Dave said, if you have hate in your heart, let it out.
If you got hate in your heart, let it out. And shout out to in the House of Ram broadcasting notification. I see Amor Rob Bosley Howard L just posted in that telegram from our Prophet Noble Drew Ali University. They just posted there too in House of Reawakening Minds telegram the encyclopedia. It's actually the other one, Amor Ra. It's the other one. That's the one that's missing a couple of pages, the one that you posted. It's another one that's just a white cover and it has in red Encyclopedia of Astrology. That's the one that's actually like the physical copies that we have. However, Brother Sean, do your thing. I yield.
Indeed, yes. So we'll get right back into the Encyclopedia of Astrology. So let me get back to the screen share. And once again, you already know I'm Brother Sean Alim Ale, but you know my bros also, they like to call me
Braveheart.
So yeah, you know, it's been, well, before I hit the screen share, it's been an honor to work with Brother Hasan. Before I took my nationality and birthright serious, I was reading Clock of Destiny and reading various other books on astrology, on Moorish science. Once I took the opportunity to really take myself serious and really start studying and taking the time to sort through different information and go through it myself, it has been a game changer. And now that come January, I'll be working with Brother Hasan and the bros for 2 years, and it's also been honorable to study and work with Mother Malika while I still figure, you know, my sums out, because we're all solving sums. So, you know, instead of throwing all that hate about who's this and all that, let's fix this.
Or like people saying, and, only using the prophet's name to get banknotes. Didn't we just say we're not doing that? But we get it. You guys got to troll. Your bridge is lonely though. You might want to get back to it. Okay, go ahead, Brother Sean.
Indeed. Can y'all see the screen?
I think it's going to happen in a few, man. It's heating up.
He's heating up.
It's heating up.
There it goes.
Is it showing?
Yes.
All right, awesome. All right, so the first house in astrology. So we see here in the nativity, right, representing selfhood. Its primary significance is action, destiny in the making. So to tie this first house along with the civics, here we go right here in a mundane figure.
You mind zooming in a little bit, bro?
Ooh, let me see. Ooh, yeah, there we go. Yeah. How'd that look?
Yeah.
Already tell me what it looks like. No. We have the body politic, the country and its inhabitants as a whole, the people, the masses, their prosperity and health, or the reverse, their national traits and habits, the country's interior affairs, the public consciousness and collective expression, the psychology of the masses, their reactions and conditions, and a political campaign, the majority, and a lawsuit, the defendant, also this decision or sentence pertaining to the courts. First house, So we'll go along to the second house, which keyword for second house is values. So we'll look here in a mundane figure, the nation's wealth, taxation, revenue, stocks, bonds, shares, and all places and activities connected in any way with money, such as banks, stock exchange, trade, and commerce.
Mm.
The national exports, taxing power, as distinct from the manner in which the taxes affect the people. The purchasing power of the nation, its national expenditures and receipts, currency and its circulation in liquid assets, hence the wealth and prosperity of the people as measured by their collective earning and buying power.
It's funny, Brother Sean's going in on this, and someone in the chat says, just get a day job. They just missed the whole hour and a half of what Mother Malika, Brother Arah, and Brother Keith just been saying, guys. That's how you sell yourself back into slavery. And that's why Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, be careful, dear Moors. There will be Moors wearing turbans and fezzes that will sell you, that will try to sell you back into slavery. There's only a try if you're conscious enough to know not to do. And this is what I'm saying, guys. This is why we have on this planet for thousands of years, the only wars that's been happening on this planet is a family feud. Again, one mother's breast have given us suck. So guys, it would be much better for you to put the people that are the federal agents in order so that you can be able to get all that second house stuff that Brother Sean just read in order. Guys, you can't look, these are just words. We can do this, all right? I yield, bro.
Islam. All right, so moving along here to the third house, and I don't think I'm going to go through all the houses. I'll do three just to give the people a sense. So third house, deals with communications, short travels, right? So in a mundane figure, it deals with inland transit, traffic and communications by land, air, or water, the nature pertaining to the public demands upon and the degree of public patronage accorded to the nation's transportation and communication facilities. The postal, telegraph, and telephone systems, radio, cinema, newspapers, magazines, and ephemeral publications. The people's inclination to travel, move about, make changes, and communicate with one another within the nation. The nation's intellectual activities and its relations with neighboring nations. The reading public and its tendency to patronize the newspapers and other periodicals. Indications relative to rumors, public opinion, the mental. Oh no! What happened?
Scroll down.
There we go. The reading public, indications relative to rumors, public opinion, the mental and psychological attitude of the masses. Immigration as distinct from immigration.
Yeah, immigration as distinct from immigration. Correct. I yield.
Gratitude. Temperature changes and atmospheric conditions within the country. And look at that,
court
in a court of law, the court reporter. So there's no way that you can tie you can separate civics and astrology. Like there's no separation between church and state. It is all together. And this is the lower foundation. So we know that in astrology, the ninth house. So let's go to the ninth house real fast. As we know, it's ruled by Jupiter and deals with philosophy and law. So I'm going to scroll on down. Look at here. So fourth house, when you look at in the court of law, the jury. So this is all tied together, guys. So yes, you might not have known. And yes, it takes some time to study. But if we can just make the notion now and get clear in our mind so that we can regain our lost estate, which is mind first. It all occurs in mind first. It goes inner, then outer. So once we start getting our minds, our concepts clear, we can start to fix this.
Shout out to Baby Bobby Christ in the chat. I see you, Bobby.
Baby Bobby Christ. What you look here? All right, so ninth house deals with philosophy, law, and religion. So in the mundane figure, long distance passenger and freight transportation and communications by or over sea, air, and land, religion and the clergy, judges and courts of law. the educated classes, universities, and institutions of higher learning. So let's go down in a national figure. Oh, goodness.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Let me stop.
The Secretary of State, as a government official, as distinguished from the State Department. The educated classes, those who control or govern the reading, writing, or traveling habits of the public.
Habits of the public. So
where's their authority for that? You know.
So hold on, Brother Sean. Hold on. So you just pointed out the second house deals with the Treasury, third house deals with the court reporter, ninth house is dealing with the judges. You know what I mean, and the courts of law, guys. That means, okay, so this is why if you are in the Lawful Living Telegram, right, I've actually posted and I've redacted some information, but the type style of writs that I and my brothers use, however, I'm pretty sure I also put it there to be scrutinized, right? So you guys can actually see certain things that we said due to our position that we're taking, because we're clear that we are Astro Masons speaking to other people that go to lodge. However, their tassels are put down and do not flow freely as mine does, or my brothers. So at the top of the writs that we do, you'll always see astrology, because we're not ever moving in our documentation without looking at the astrology first. And there used to be a point of time where you can look up these barristers and these judges' information, and I could get a general timing on their manifestation, what some people call their birth time. I call it the manifestation dimension, right? That's the dimension. What we call time is just dimensions and cycles. So if I can find that particular manifestation dimension, I will actually cast that chart and look at my natal chart, that judge or whomever I got information natal chart, and then I'll see when was the court established, look at that court's chart, and what I'll do is I'll actually go, okay, this is the day we need to execute. And then so it's in our favor. I don't play when it comes to the astrology, because I know if you look at all the flags across the world, the mother flag is the crescent and star, right? Because the star is the child and the crescent is the belly that is with that child, the womb that is with that child. Some people just see star and moon, but however, you got to remember, the woman technically is the walking calendar. The menstrual cycle is timed by the moon cycle. All right, I'm not being vulgar. All righty. So what I'm actually saying is, by that cycle of the moon, you have an ovum leaving ovary, traveling fallopian tube, mooring itself, anchoring itself, mooring itself to the endometrium, which lines the uterus, awaiting defibrillation by some sperm cell put into us by our mothers. Alrighty, so we got to be really clear on what it is that we're doing here. That's why when you hear Brother Todd say more science is astrology and cosmology, he's exactly correct. You see what I'm saying? However, what we're not doing is we're not forcing it on people. We're just utilizing it based on our comprehension. And when we see other people like Malika, Keith, Bobby, and everyone else in Lawful Living, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can actually gauge, like sometimes when I'm in class, when I'm in Malika's class, I'm looking at astrology at the same time certain stuff happen. I'm like, dang, yo, this is on point. Look at this is happening when this is here in this house. This conversation is taking place when this is happening. And that's why before we even got on this, me and Brother Sean was actually looking at the chart. I said, bro, let's put our charts. Like, it's my chart, Brother Sean's chart, and then the chart for today for office hours with Dr. G. And we was like, bro, this is, I'm telling you, yeah, these next 3 to 6 months is going to be great, not just for us, but for you all, for the common people, because now you will see that we've always been giving you free access to the tools that you need. If you lack the comprehension, guys, you can do what we did, like what I did. I put myself through 8 years without having to go to prison, to someone's correctional facility, and now I'm a Moor because it's for protection and stuff like that. I didn't have to do that. I just happened to have a situation where I had a choice. I could be a womanizing douchebag, or I can take this time that I have by having no overhead and really studying that was actually introduced to me. And by the second year, I'm at House of Reawakening Minds for 15 months every other Friday, making sure that I can get there, right? Carpooling, whatever the case may be, so that I can make sure I'm there getting the concepts correct and assisting the people. We have given out more energy than we have ever received from anyone. I promise you, right? So let's get into some astro literacy comprehension, bro. We just went there with the book, right? Let's actually look at a chart. I don't care what you pull up. You can do a chart at the moment, actually, if you want to right now.
Is it showing? Is Mercury retrograde chart showing?
Not yet.
Wow, it's been sitting there for long.
It's there.
Here we go.
Okay.
Here we go, yo.
Here I go.
There I go.
So if you haven't turned in yet or looked, we know that Mercury's about to retrograde. So I'm pretty sure you've seen it all on your social medias and everything. And pretty sure most of them who are not, sincere, like, will always be quick to tell you about exes coming back and everything else. But here at 7HealStar, we're going to give you the truth and nothing but the truth here. So we know that Mercury's slowing down, so it's right here in the second house of values. So if we go back to what I was just reading from the Dang figure here, Mercury's going retrograde. So this is a time to go within. This is not a time to look for things outside of yourself. Mercury's in Capricorn. So this is all about correcting your status in your mind and in your paperwork. Because yes, the paperwork speaks for you, but if you're not clearing your mind, it's not going to work. So, your get rich quick schemes and all that, it's not going to work. And it's not the information. It's not Malika. It's not Keith or Bobby, telling you wrong. It's you not being clear within your own. And the universe will not work in your favor when you're not clear. So with this Mercury retrograde here, conjunct Venus, Venus deals with relating. It also deals with finances. So we have a conjunction, a oneness between how we relate and how we communicate. So we are getting back to the values of how we view ourselves and how we view others and of what we're not going for. So, hashtag, I'm not moving. We're not moving. We're moving away from the bullshit and moving away into securing ourselves here because status, Capricorn is all about status, long-term goals. Experts, right? So we're becoming more experts with ourselves, and that those who have taken an oath to hold a position, we're going to hold them to that. With this Venus and Mercury being here, and with it being conjunct Pluto, we're transforming. So yes, what you thought was true, what we thought was true, what we thought was real, it's crumbling. And instead of crying about the ship sinking, how about we abandon the ship and leave that alone, right? And let's see, and we look here too on the rise. So this is Scorpio at 29 degrees. That's a very critical degree. For those who have their CMB Clock of Destiny books, go refer to that, and you'll see the fixed beast section. So 29 degree Scorpio, that's a sun degree. So once again, we have sun. So the light is being shined upon our values and our consciousness. On fixing that, Venus, we're learning how to relate our status and help others who might not see that. And Mercury retrograde being there as well in Capricorn is we're looking within to become clear within ourselves of what's working for us and what is not. Mars is the chart ruler. Mars is in the 7th house. So once again, this is contract and civics going on. So when Malika tells you, or Keith, the certification is false, or are you reading, where's my oath of office? This is all dealing with contracts here. Mars and Gemini is all about communication. So just because you may not feel like it's true because everybody's not talking about it, doesn't mean that it's still not occurring. So this is becoming clear within ourselves and how we communicate. Once again, Mars and Mercury retrograde. So you're taking a step back from moving forward or doing what you do to become clear on what you do.
They don't have to believe anything we say. Tell them go read the Constitution.
Yes. Hey, look, keep that chart up. Keep that chart up because I want to add to your wisdom. All right, let's give you guys some astro literacy comprehension examples. You got pen and paper there. Everyone that participates, this is great. I want you to write this down. I want to show you that astrology.
Ooh, look at that Luna trying to ascendant. Ooh, sorry. Outbursts.
It definitely is. So this is what I want you guys to get. Let's start off with what Brother Sean talked about. He talked about Mercury. This is actually Mercury being stationed direct. From my perspective here on Earth, it looks like Mercury stopped its orbit at 24. And because we're passing, I want you to know what a retrograde is. A retrograde is like you on a highway, right? And there's a semi in the middle lane, right? Or you're on the freeway. You're traveling upon the easements upon your ancestral estate. And in the middle lane is a tractor trailer, right? However, you're in this far left lane. You're doing 75. The tractor trailer is doing 65. As you pass the tractor trailer, it's not actually moving backwards. But when you look from the land conveyance that you're traveling in and you look at that tractor trailer, it appears to be in retrograde motion, even though it's moving forward. So what happens is when Mercury and Earth are close to each other in their orbits and Earth passes Mercury, we get what is an apparent retrograde motion, but Mercury doesn't actually move backwards. It's from our perspective because tropic astrology is Earth-based. This is the astrology that's under your feet, based on the fact that the sun's path, the ecliptic path, and the equator, alrighty, are making their intersections, which gives you your 0 degrees Aries and your 0 degrees Libra, which are all tied to the Earth and the 12 different slices that you can make pertaining to the Earth. All right. So write this down real quick. Mercury equals communication. Let's keep it simple. Because Mercury naturally deals with the 3rd and the 6th sign, which is also the 3rd and 6th house. So write down communication and write down service. Brother Sean pointed out Mercury, communication and service. When planets are retrograde, they are closest to Earth in their orbit. So use the keyword closeness or recalling. Well, both. You can use both. So you got written down service, you got written down communication, you got closeness written down, and you got what was the other one I said? Closeness. Recalling, right? And recalling, exactly. That's exactly what it is. Now you have that. What sign is it in? Well, it's in the 10th sign, naturally dealing with the 10th house. All right, which naturally deals with Saturn rulership. And the 2nd house right now is being ruled by Saturn. All righty. So because the 2nd house cusp is in Capricorn. So therefore, what I want you to write, the next one for Capricorn, I want you to write essentials. You could also write the term status. So now you should have, for Mercury, right? You should have communication, service, closeness, and recalling. Due to the fact that it's station retrograde, which means it looks like it's stopping there before it actually begins to look like it's going back in the zodiac to the earlier degrees in Capricorn. Now that you have Capricorn as essentials and status, this is the next thing I want you to write down. 2nd house is values. So now you have some keywords, right? Remember, 2nd house, values. So with Mercury retrograde in Capricorn in the 2nd house, you should be able to put together a sentence. I want you to try your sentences out in the chat. What sentence can you put together for me in the chat, guys? This is one of the basic lessons that we do, and you can ask Brother Arah. Brother Arah was there for 3 months with me, showing up for Astro Literacy Comprehension Conference, right? 3 months, and this is one of the basic lessons to make sure you guys can comprehend how to even write a sentence based on keywords. And there's no wrong answer. So what do you get when you have Mercury, communication, service, and since it's station retrograde, closeness, recalling. Capricorn, essentials, status. 2nd house, values or possession. What's some sentences you guys can actually write utilizing that? Right? Think about that. However, I'm going to move on. I guess I could go back in the chat to see later, right? And I'm going to wrap this up in about 7 minutes to at least leave about 20 minutes for questions, comments, and or suggestions. So when Brother Sean brought that up and he said that Mercury is actually, and I want to tie this in with what Malika and Keith have said, because contracts have terms and conditions. Is that correct, Malika and Keith? Can y'all say that kind? And Brother Arah, do contracts not have terms and conditions, yes or no?
Oh, most certainly.
Okay. So what are the terms and conditions in astrology? Well, the terms are those little, if you see, Brother Sean, can you point to Sagittarius, please? The sign Sagittarius? Absolutely. The terms is, the first term in Sagittarius is the Jupiter term. The second term is Venus terms. The next term is Mercury, right? Okay, let's go to the ascendant though. The ascendant, right, is being ruled by Mars because it's on Scorpio. However, it's in Saturn's terms. So the terms is what masters what's going to happen at this moment in time. So Saturn there at 22 degrees Aquarius, 9 minutes. 22 degrees Aquarius to 28 degrees Aquarius is the astrological area. So when it comes to Mercury retrograde, station retrograde, I can say for the collective, what's going to happen here is that people are going to go behind the scenes, because Scorpio deals with behind the scenes and occult knowledge, which is term occult just means hidden, or what's just hidden from your own mind. It will be unpacked. Saturn is going to allow you to unpack that, right? Go back to the terms, bro, please and thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, because the terms is the terms of how we are even seeing this. We're talking about terms and conditions. So the terms, by being in Saturn's terms, even though the chart ruler is Mars, the chart's master is Saturn at this moment of time. So depending on Saturn's conditions, which are the aspects, one aspect, let's see, when we're looking at 22 and 29, we could say that since the ascendant, when the ascendant was at 22 degrees Scorpio, it was squaring Saturn. So it's coming off of a square. This is a separating square happening between the ascendant and Saturn. We can also say that Saturn and there's some fixed stars that are really there, bro. However, if we just went into, let's see, it's almost a square. Uranus is the retrograde though, however. But let's just say if Uranus was at 22 degrees Taurus, it would be a square between them, but they're not. It's a little more than 10 degrees or whatever, right, for that square. So it's not even really there. But there is another type of aspect there. But the conditions, can you bring up an aspect list just really quickly, Brother Sean? So if we just look at Saturn, right? Saturn is doing a semi-square with the sun. That's 45 degrees to the sun, right? That's parallels and contraparallels. Yeah, find Saturn, the Saturn row. Go up a little bit and to the left. See the sun column? Go down the sun column. Mm-hmm. Go down the sun column. Down, 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 down. Right there. Where's the semi-square with Saturn? So there's 45 degrees away from Saturn and the sun. So the sun is expressing its influence in a way that is like half the obstacle and challenge. So what's half the obstacle and challenge? The fact that you guys are being reminded. You guys, this is your ancient foremothers and forefathers culture. You can go to the Library of Congress, go to Grand Central Station, many major places. You're going to see either constellations or the zodiac, some way, shape, or form informed into the building. Go to the City Hall at Shakamoxon, what they call Philadelphia, as the zodiac out front. Because this is what's actually ruling the world. A Sayaraha, which is a pilot, an astrologer. Right now, I and my brother, since we are certified, internationally certified professional astrologers, we are part of two major astrological organizations. All righty. I've been, shout out to Mother Rashida Bey also, who predicted 3.5 years ago that I would actually get a scholarship, which I've completed my scholarship program through a very major astrological society. Therefore, now I am my brother's actually sharing that certification also. However, that certification came after we did our own certification through our own free national press. So an actual Sayaraha right now, if I was to go and work at the White House, me and my brothers, they would have to give us, honestly, if we contracted, if we wanted to go that way, 330 units an hour per brother. I'm not playing. Astrology is serious business. It really is, if you go to do trade or business. However, what we know that we're doing in harmony with Prophet Noble Drew Ali, what we're doing in harmony with Charles Mosley Bey, is making sure that the people have what they need, because more important than going to be an astrologer for the White House would be better off for us to do like they do with the astrology in your farmer's almanac, so you can learn to grow your freaking food. So you can stop depending on different naval stores, falsely called grocery stores, and you got to get scanned before you go in there for your groceries, or have a limited amount of products you can get if you're delivering via Peapod or Instacart or whatever it is that you may do, and having it delivered to you. So you can actually plant. Basically, it's like this. You guys get a Farmer's Almanac. It's probably only 7 notes and 99 cents if you're going to do it that way. Go to like a Royal Farms, a Circle K, a Cumberland's, I'm trying to think of other ones, a 7-Eleven, whatever the case may be. Get yourself a Farmer's Almanac, and you will see there are chapters in there, sections that are solely for astronomy and astrology, so that you guys can be able to have exactly what it is that you need when you plant by the moon. If there's anything that bears fruit above the ground, an apple, an orange, it bears fruit above the ground. You want to plant the seed between the new moon and the full moon. You really must wait after the full moon for about 12 degrees of that moon's motion. So you want to wait a day and a half to plant. The best times to plant is when the moon is reaching towards full, and when the moon is actually only in either an earth or a water sign. That's when you'll get the best results. These are things that I've actually done in different gardens just to test to see what the results are. Even when it comes to germinating certain seeds, that's what has happened for me also. So this is how you use the zodiac to sincerely help yourself, not just on the terms and conditions, like the terms in this chart or the conditions pertaining to the aspects pertaining to the different planets. However, you can also see when the best time to plant would be. But let's say you're growing root vegetables, and these things bear fruit underground. Then you plant between the full moon and the new moon, when the moon is decreasing in light, when it's waning. So anything that's bearing fruit above the ground, you go for the waxing phase of the moon. Anything bearing fruit below the ground, you go for the waning phase pertaining to the moon. And this is how you utilize these things. All righty. I hope I gave a little astro literacy comprehension there. Let me check the chat. I'm not sure if anybody took on that challenge. However, I will say, though, again, if you look at Mercury, again, communication, service, by being stationed retrograde, all righty, it's a closeness and recalling, Capricorn, essentials and status, second house. Because I just, after a while, I'm kind of like Cam Jansen. I can take like photographic pictures and it's just already stored in my memory. Second house, possessions and values. Write your own statement. There's no right or wrong statement. Just use those words, and what you'll actually see is what's happening in that moment. By Saturn ruling over not just the second house, but being master of that particular chart, you guys are going to see that you're going to take astrology a lot more seriously in terms of incorporating it so that you can actually protect yourself in contracting and grow your food. Because those are the two main problems and issues that we're dealing with on the planet here. All right. I'm going to yield the floor there for questions, comments, and or suggestions, Dr. Naila.
Islam. This has been very. I'm full up. I'm listening, and I remember you had a conversation with me when I told you my husband had the surgery, and you said, "Oh, you have to make sure that wasn't a retrograde." Of course, he's going to have surgery again tomorrow, so I'm hoping it's a little lighter than the other, but an adjustment to the surgery he had.
Yes, I told you, because I just came out of one of the astrological societies. They just had a class, because when you're a member, the classes are free. There was a lady, I think it's Catherine. I cannot remember Catherine's last part to her appellation, but it's an older Albion daughter, very knowledgeable. And her particular one was on surgeries and the best time to do surgeries according to astrology. Mercury would be the hands of the surgeon, and Mars is the scalpel doing the cutting. So when you have favorable aspects, which are the conditions between Mercury and Mars, that's usually when you have those favorable conditions, that's when it's really time to get surgeries or schedule surgeries, especially when you can look ahead if they're not like, you know, emergency surgeries or whatever. But yeah, I did say that. I said, you know what? And when we was talking, I was like, I know Mercury's in its shadow retrograde, and I know that Mars is retrograde right now also. And you was like, well, he's got to go back for other surgeries. And I was like, wow, are you even saying go back for other surgeries to get things corrected? Mars retrograde in Gemini is correction. The key word for that would be correction. I yield.
Yeah, see, he had a surgery week before last, and now he has to go tomorrow for a correction.
Exactly. And that's why I said we're no gurus here, guys. So don't give us the guru stuff. We're thorough in making sure that we're reading what's necessary, and then we're actually seeing if it works. If it don't work, I discard it. If it works, I continue to study it. I yield.
So if people are interested in classes besides the lawful living, jurisprudence gym, does 7HealStar provide classes in astrology for those who may be interested in learning more? Tell us, you know, if that is something you offer.
The short answer is yes. On 7HealStar.com, we already have workshops that are already there that you can view, all you would do is once you actually transact your eleemosynary tuition, we'll give you access to that particular Google Drive, and then you can go and do your own studies on your own time. Usually what I would like for people to do is get a mirror astro literacy session one-on-one with either myself, Brother Corey, Brother Sean, or Brother Terrell, because they're certified. Brother Arah is still graciously working on his certification. However, he has contributed so much on the civics portion that there's no way that he could not be a part of 7HealStar, because he also helped tremendously with the Astro Literacy Comprehension Conference by assisting me in actually teaching the Astro Literacy Comprehension Conference by being an active adept student, right? So with that being said, guys, you can see right here on the website, we have appointments and we also have classes. For those that really want to take the intensive, like right now, I was only really certifying at first just Moorish Americans that are serious, that are declared and proclaimed nationals, because I know where we come from with this. You see what I'm saying? However, I'm willing and soon we'll be opening the certification to others. However, so that it is that we can work together, because I actually had an opportunity to work near Hindustan remotely. There was what was his name, man? Puneet Gupta. Puneet Gupta is the chief executive officer for Astro Talk. And it's a major astrology firm, major astrology website actually, which inspired me to do the astrology firm. And they were ready to hire me. I had to do my interview like at 11 o'clock at night Eastern, because they're 9.5 hours ahead at Chennai, India. And so I'm doing my interview online. I'm showing them that I actually know Vedic astrology and know it very well, right? Not just the tropic astrology. I know the Vedic also, or the Jyotisha. And so when they saw that, they was like, okay, look, we want to hire you. We want you to be a part of our, Astro Talk website. However, we need 31.2 cents on every dollar you make. And that's when I said, man, thank you so much for this opportunity. And the next day I started 7HealStar.com, because I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to let you be in my pocket for 31. I don't even do that to my brothers. You see what I'm saying? I don't want nothing that my brothers make from what they do. Brother Sean, if you check, Brother Sean also has Reiki that he offers. Just like, Dr. G, I know you are a Reiki master also.
I'm not a master. I'm a level 2.
Oh, well, but I know Brother Sean, I think, is at a level 4. Is that correct, Brother Sean?
Master, and I'm about to finish an advanced course.
Got you. So Brother Sean offers these things, I think, like at the beginning of the website, you know what I mean? Like, if you were to click, go scroll up. If you were to scroll up, there are some things even, right there. After the free stuff, like Brother Sean is offering things there. He's doing virtual sessions. Brother Sean has actually done some things for me and my beloved mother mistress consort, and we compensate our brother also. You see what I'm saying? Because we all kind of look out for each other also. So we're not just, as someone wrongfully accused, getting banknotes in the name of the prophet. No, we actually do what we can do. However, I think we give out 153% and usually probably receive back 20%, because a lot of people were, oh, well, they're not charging us, let me just run off with it. And then we just wait for you guys to come back like, man, I really don't comprehend it. I tried to take your stuff to other astrologers, and this happened and that happened. It's just like, guys, what we got for you, you won't be disappointed. So the Mirror Astro Literacy session right there, it is 3 hours for 153 units in lieu of lawful money. You do get more than what you think you're getting. I hold them via Zoom. So I will make sure you have everything that you need afterwards. And 9 times out of 10, I'm going to give you extras that you're not expecting outside of the Mirror Astro Literacy session, which I record for you. All righty. So when you actually get, this session, I will make sure that I'm giving you the canvas of my mind. It's not just me reading your chart. It's making sure that you are astro literate. What that means is I make sure you know how to go about checking on yourself natally first, and then eventually you'll get into your transits. I get 4 different sessions, right? Yes, they're each 153 a piece. I've actually had Albion's daughter not too long ago do all 4 of her Mirror Astro Literacy sessions, and she was able to have a health, what was it called, man? A health savings account, a HSA. Yeah, and I gotta put the new scroll down a little bit because I want you guys to see that. Normally you cash your chart free. Go up just a little bit. Go up, keep going above the calendar, above featured product, right there. Boom. So what I got to do is I got to upgrade the widget. It's usually a widget there. A part of our there's our colleagues at Astro Wizard that's a part of the major astrological society also, right? And what they do is they provide us a means to put a free widget there for you to cast your own chart. But I think they upgraded it, so I have to go and upgrade it, actually, to see what they have there. But I wanted to make sure that the people don't cry and whine, oh, Hasan just wants Federal Reserve notes. No, guys, look, you can freely cash your chart. And if you scroll down just a little bit, we give you 3 study
posters. They don't say that when they go get their hair done or they transact for their nails or the barbershop. Get
them Jordans for like the 12th time they've produced them since the early 90s. That annual perfection study sheet, that's one that's free. Scroll down some more. And those 2 that's on the left, the study poster, the 7HealStar study poster, and the zodiacal releasing posters. Those are posters that if you actually know how to use them and go off of what I just did an example for astro literacy comprehension, it's a wrap. Go ahead, bro. What you about to say?
On the last image, you got to click the second photo to see the chart. I know it showed a video at first, but under the video, there's 2 images. Click that second. Yeah, there you go.
So that one right there alone, you see the keyword right there. If you scroll, move over a little bit because when you got the mouse on it, it'll zoom in. Okay. See right there in the second house. Start from the center. Start from the center right there. See heart or earth, same thing, just the H is transposed. Find the number 2, which is where. And so this is a guide. So naturally, the natural zodiac, when it comes to the number 2, you're dealing with the earth sign, Taurus, the bull, keyword values. Rahu and Venus Rahu is exalted there. Venus is dominant there. So this is a guide. However, you saw a combination. And this is why when you saw Mercury, you see Mercury is ruling the 3rd and the 6th. That's why I use communicating and service when I gave you guys those keywords. Then I said, oh, it's in Capricorn. Capricorn deals with essentials. That's why I gave you that. And then I said the second house deals with values or possessions. And now I said make a sentence. So we freely give you guys the things that you actually need. It's just a matter of knowing how to utilize them. And most people want to wrap wires around crystals and say they're just super this and that. We actually studied and met Prophet Noble Drew Ali in his literature. Studied and met CM Bey in his literature. Like Brother Taj lets you know, if you really want to meet someone, meet them in their literature. Has he not said that? How many times has he not repeated that in tons of videos, especially at House of Reawakening Minds and other venues? So that's what you do. You go and meet these authors in their literature. and you find out what you have there, guys. So yeah, we've also done, and you guys know when you get Prophet Noble Drali University, we already give, like, if I'm not mistaken, we give 10 free classes in there too. There's already videos in Prophet Noble Drali University, just these two, the second and the third one. What we did, because the only reason 7HealStar exists is because there were people that asked us, hey, can you give us classes that we can transact for? Because, brother, you really know what you're doing. You're always teaching freely on Facebook or other platforms if you can. So can you give us classes that we can transact for? I said, all righty, fine. If you just take any number, 324 divided by 27, you'll get how many videos and audios you'll get. So 324 divided by 27 is 12. So you not only get 12 videos, you get 12 audios if you want to take your classes with you and listen to them while you're in your land conveyance traveling. I did my best to find a way to do it without breaking anyone, so to speak. I'm not on a bag chase here. However, I gave the people what they wanted because Moorish science is true government. Anything else, me telling the people what to do, is military. I am not doing military. I'm doing government. I'm here for the people per the instructions that are delivered in Prophet Noble Drali's literature, as well as the instructions in the literature that came from Brother Taj, Mother Delilah, and a few other active Moors that I'm still in contact with, and especially Mother Rashida Bey, the only Sayaraha of Great Seal National Association of Moorish Affairs, and the last founding member, the last living founding member for Great Seal National Association of Moorish Affairs. Shout out to Mother Rashida Bey. All righty. So that's just where I'm kind of going with that. Do I have any questions or comments and or suggestions from anyone? I yield.
Well, I think this has been very, very, I think this has been informative. And I appreciate you all taking time out of your schedules to come on.
Hold on, one thing. Mother Barbara, you already know I ain't talking negatively about the crystals at all. It's funny because I still, if y'all can hear that, that's my crystals that she gifted to me. I wear them at all times mostly. Usually I always have my crystals on me. No, I'm talking about those people that you know what I'm talking about. When they got their wires wrapped around their crystals a little too tight, and now they're just some metaphysical prophetess that's just like, oh, time out. You're doing tarot and don't know astrology? Stop it. That's what I'd be talking about. But at the same time, I'm not hating. I'm not mad at anyone that's doing anything. I'm just saying, according to our charge, we're making sure that everyone has what they need. And Dr. Naila has seen me grown in these last, let's see, February 2017, February 3rd was when you first met me, Mother Naila, and I first met you. So that's 5 years, but it's 3 years even before that I've, declared and proclaimed my nationality back in 2014. But go ahead, Mother, I yield.
No, I want to say thank you to each of you for coming on and sharing this knowledge and information. And one of the things that I definitely wanted to do it when I talked to you is that I wanted to give the people another resource. I told you I get tons of calls on a daily basis from people all over with some of the problems that you highlighted, the situations, the foreclosures, the being evicted, having their children taken away, they themselves being kidnapped and so forth. And I myself, the only thing I can do is kind of figure out as a connector, who can I connect them to? And I can lessen the middleman in situations if they learn about others such as yourselves that are offering solutions, such as yourself and Mother Malika, thank her for her presence, to go and work on these things. And it's so much better when you, like you said, you don't need anybody really to do it for you, but what you need somebody to do is point you in the direction of the tools, maybe give you tools, but then watch you mimic them as they do what they're doing so that you can become competent. And folks are always looking for, a quick fix in a microwave situation, and it's for something that has taken a long time to get there. And then when the crap hits the fan, then it's on. They want that help and they want it now. And I'm saying this is a resource, may not be the only resource, but as I learn of and I appreciate what folks are bringing out, Brother Hasan, and I'm gonna say this publicly, you have known to rub some folks, kind of because of your your boldness and brashness, and I appreciate this presentation. You still being yourself, and I think it comes with confidence. And when you're confident in what it is and what it is you're offering, you can be bold with it and unapologetic with it. And folks have to, take their feelings off their sleeve and say, wait a minute, let me look at this for what it is. Is this something that can assist me? Can this help me? Can this information put my ego on the shelf, or even put it in the trash? And is this information something that is valuable to me or my family or my friends? And stop, that's the thing I see with Moors. I mean, I've seen things in the chat today that I thought was I ignored them for the most part. I just put somebody in timeout because it just makes little to no sense that if half the time, if the majority of the time, if you come on somebody's channel, you got something negative to say, then don't come on the channel. If you know the kind of information that's presented on that platform, don't come on that platform, and then you won't have to get your boxers in a bunch, because mostly it's brothers. Sometimes it's sisters. But if you know that you don't like what's being presented there, don't come on this channel. And I say that respectfully to anybody, because I would never go and patronize somebody else's channel, even to say negative things, if I didn't like what it was they were presenting. And so I'm inviting you to either go on another channel or create your own. And there's a market there. You'll find someone who won't like what you present either, and then you'll know exactly how it feels not to see the bigger picture, that this is being presented for the good of our people. I appreciate you too, Brother El Puro, and your knowledge. And it goes, I already knew this, but we have to look at all people and what they bring into the table. You know what I mean? And respect that. You know what I mean? So, I know for anybody that has a problem with that, it's your problem. But we're going to present, who we think will be best able to provide solutions and assistance to the people. And I appreciate the regulars. I appreciate Mother Barbara too, Sister Mother Barbara. I know I'm a little bit elder to her, but she showed me so much hospitality when I went to North Carolina and to meet her several years back in person. Didn't have an address because they were they had there was no address because she was off the grid. And so the divine led us from Delaware to North Carolina in the middle of the night, not having an address. When I used the GPS, it took me to a closed gas station and said, "You are here." And I said to the sister that's with me, Cherie, we are not there. And so Mother Sister Barbara, you got to remember that. Like, we didn't come all the way from Delaware to North Carolina, and we don't have, we're used to addresses. And I guess they have like a whatever they have. You know how it is when you're off the grid. And now we had to it's like, this is as far as we're gonna take you. That's what you guys you on your own. So we just rode down a dark road, back and forth down a dark. She said, "Wow." We rode up and down a dark road. And all of a sudden, I saw a little light on a little building, and Ray got out of the car. I said, "Get out of the car and go look." And it had one of those, what is the red and white signs that the Moors put on their property. She said, "I'm crying." I'm crying. But what I'm telling you, the love and just the healing and just the and all the crystals. Oh my goodness, all the crystals. So
yeah, I mean, because when you guys came back, there was the crystals that was for me also. Even though before, because she's an amazing lapidarian. Also, because even and Mother Barbara, I was speaking to my beloved Mother Mistress Consort that her and many other elders, okayed the union. They was like, yes, this is the one I signed. We're gonna contact you actually, because there are some things we're working on, and I and my beloved Mother Mistress Consort actually prefer your opinion when it comes to these things that we're doing with crystal plans with the crystals or whatever. So I'll be contacting you very, 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 very soon. But Mother Barbara is correct.
Yes, I so appreciate her, and I appreciate y'all. I just want to make this one little announcement about the Telegram. I have to do this. I have to do this about the Telegram notification, House of Ram broadcast notification. First of all, the thing said I would be able to have up to 20,000 members, and it seemed to stop at like 183. So that's a bummer, because that was going to be my way of notifying you when we do the private classes. The other thing was, folks didn't kind of pay attention to the fact that it was just for notifications for House of Reawakening Minds when we had our events, and not for everybody else's stuff. And so it's kind of gotten jumbled. And of course, those who have I brought it to their attention, they have respectfully said I get it, but I didn't put it on there initially, so I can see where there might have been some confusion. So we're looking for another solution to notify you all, so everybody can get notifications. So just until we get the website done and people can sign up at the website, what I will probably likely do is the way we set up, Brother Hasan, when we're doing an actual broadcast like this, and I do a notification, I'll be doing a notification a week in advance that looks like a little video, but it'll say like an upcoming video, but really what it'll say is click the link below. You know how we put the description, click the link below for the link for this upcoming webinar. So it's going to be that way. But on that note, also, I want you all to look at the description of this particular broadcast when it's over, and I've got all of the connection information for all the things that these brothers do with the Reiki, and there's yoga and detoxing and
yeah. By the way, if I can,
information is in the I put up 7HealStar.com, and I put up Lawful Living. That's been running as a scroll, but everybody's personal email, all of these brothers, even the ones that didn't say anything, is all listed in the description of this particular show. Please go back and check that out so that you can get in touch. You'll see what they do, what they offer, and then you can get in touch with each one of them. Like I said, I appreciate you all for those who signed up. I ask that some of you who are putting all kinds of announcements on there, don't do it, because you're waking folk up in the middle of the night with notifications. They're not coming from me, y'all. They are not coming from. They're not coming from.
Innocent is charged.
Yeah. So people are upset because they being awakened in the middle of the night with.
Turn your notifications off. Let me stop.
Not me. So turn your notifications off. I'm going to be doing something else so that you all know. So you all will know what's coming up. But because I thought that was going to work, but Telegram is not the way. Yeah.
Just want to say yes, brother. Shout out to our brother Corey Bey. We call him jokingly Exalted Side Clubs. Right? He has the. You guys can go at Instagram. Like she said, it's going to be in the description at One Heart Supplements. He actually processes the raw sea moss himself. There's times we're on the phone or Zoom with brother Corey. He has to mute because he's running the blender. I and my beloved mother, Mistress Consort, we actually have the sea moss in on like an order rotation, and we add that to our smoothies. I mean, it gives me a bunch of energy. I gotta it really makes me want to do stuff. Is sea moss.
Too much information. No, I'm sorry.
no, I'm serious. Like when I want to get to work and print out these literatures, because you guys know we do our own publishing and print out this literature, and it's like, all right, well, let me do this. Let me type this paper up. Let's do these charts or whatever. And shout out to brother Terrell Tamari Bey. He's with us every Wednesday, because when we first started doing our Wednesdays, started doing our Wednesdays. Actually, 7HealStar only did Wednesday Astro Weather Reports, and it was I, brother Corey, and brother Terrell. And now brother Corey, he's actually a life coach and nutritionist, a wellness coach actually. And so he does things astrologically with your health. So he can actually cast your chart, see what it is that you actually need to be eating. He's also a yoga instructor, so sometimes we do yoga through the Zoom with brother Corey on Thursdays. It's just these last couple of Thursdays, we've all been busy doing our own little things, just getting things together. And then brother Terrell is a phenomenal guitar player. However, he is really huge on it also, just like myself, and really seeing the connections, as we all are. However, brother Jag has this way about really bringing it to the forefront for us. He'll bring up something in law, something from the Quran, and then something with astrology, and it's like, pow, right there. You're like, man, that is beautifully put together. So shout out to those bros. I know they probably just didn't have Ethernet connections.
Yeah, because they were popping it off and on, and
yes, that was just it. But I really wanted them to go in astrologically. However, we did what we did. Thank you, Keith, for showing up. I really appreciate you on that, bro. And everybody else, yeah, man, I really appreciate you, bro, because I really can see when everybody is in the correct spirit. However, without being too verbose, thank you everybody else that's in the chat. Mother Barbara, I'll be calling you very soon. And everybody from Lawful Living, from the George Prudence Gym, thank you guys for showing out and really being awesome, because I and my bros really enjoy and look forward to every Tuesday and Thursday outside of our Sundays, Wednesdays, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. All righty. And with that, I yield the floor to you, Dr. Naila. Islam.
Islam, I'm about to go.
Can I make one quick statement before you go?
Sure.
Just really quick. I just wanted to say that the purpose of nationalizing or declaring and proclaiming your nationality is not to get yourself out of trouble. Mm-hmm. The Moors, who were branded Negroes, blacks, and colors, right, and were held to a certain status. And Noble Drew Ali said to stop clinging to those names and principles that delude to slavery. And he also stated that no nation of the human family will recognize us in our current condition. And that was in that slave mentality in a denationalized state without any connection to the human family. And that was the purpose, to uplift humanity and uplift the Moors particularly first by teaching them to be themselves.
Correct.
It's not about, I got a traffic ticket, let me nationalize tomorrow. That's not what it's about.
Absolutely, Islam.
Absolutely, Islam.
I concur.
Just to add on to Brother Arah's real quick, it's just, yes, we're Moors, but we're all here to do this together, because CM Bey said freedom is everybody's job. So stop looking at skin complexions and look at the work that we can do to better improve not only ourselves, our babies, but others' babies in the world. And I yield.
Islam. Brother El Puro, or you have any last words you want to add?
Absolutely, because it's I love what you just said there, Sean. I'm not the important figure in my life. The important figures in my life are the figures that are going to come after my life. I have to make myself important in how I impact that. Indeed. So again, I want to thank everybody for joining together today in the ability to show that diverse deference that we were involved in, and yet still be able to see eye to eye. God bless you.
Islam, thank you so much. Please share this video, like it, share. If you have not already done so, please subscribe to my channel, subscribe to 7HealStar's channel, get those numbers up, because I think you need to have a certain number so you can do lives. Am I right? Otherwise, you have to uplift, or have they changed that?
Oh, what you talking about? Where?
Well, like YouTube, you have to.
Oh no, we're live. We're live via Zoom. What we do is we go live on. We use Zoom, and then we go live to different. We have a choice to do YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. That's what we have. So, but yeah, we just going live on YouTube. Well, sometimes we go live on Facebook.
Subscribe to the channel, y'all. Give them, subscribe to the channel and learn with them. All right. With that, indeed, I bid you all a great evening, a peaceful, restful sleep, and wake up tomorrow, wake up with a grand rising. Yeah. I'm trying to get rid of those words like morning, things like
indeed.
that.
You say morning.
Rise grandly. All right, y'all. So we going out with this fabulous Dr. G, producer, Brother Hasan,
living master.
Oh, there you go, man.
All right, y'all. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Islam.
Islam. Dr. G.
Dr. G. Really? Who's she?
Yeah, that's me.
Dr. G. Really? Who's she?
Yeah, that's me.
Dr. G. Really? Who's she?
Yeah, that's me.
Dr. G.